I like that intro. Beam, boom, boom.
Yeah, that's part of the song now. That's a good song. But welcome. We're back. It's another episode of the Drizzle Bizzle.
What? The what?
The Drizzle Bizzle.
What is it? Did we change the name?
No.
Did we change the name? I didn't.
No, we didn't. That's just
here.
That's
I didn't get
Snoop's.
the memo.
That's Snoop speak for the DrawBomb.
Oh, like from Peanuts. Like I thought he's kind of like
No.
the dog from Peanuts.
Yeah, well, we're going wah 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 wah.
He kind of
Welcome.
did that, but it was more like a high pitched one. It was
Yeah,
like,
he would be like, he'd like make weird,
yeah, he would
like,
do that too.
high pitched guttural noises, which I actually thought
Like
were
my
pretty
owner's
cute.
depressed and it's spreading to me.
Yeah, I feel the existential angst.
This child puts a lot of weight on me. Is an emotional support creature. It's not fair.
God damn it, I'm a veteran of the World War II fighter pilots. I
That's
can't
true.
put up with this shit.
This dog is at least 150 years old.
Or was the Red Baron like World War One? Or was that just pizza?
No, pizza has transcended all wars. In fact, it's what ends war, I think.
I would stop fighting for a pizza.
Hey guys, pizza's ready. Put your guns down.
Shit.
Pizza's ready. It's kind of like that story of Christmas where like
all of the two sides
all
met up
the
in the
soldiers meet up and they had pizza. I think that's how it goes.
That's definitely how it goes. Look, I've played a lot of matches of Call of Duty. The matches stop when the pizza is ready, okay?
That should be like the most expensive, like in Call of Duty, you know how like if you get enough kills you unlock certain like
Pizza party.
power-ups. Well, just like Christmas it's Christmas Eve now. Sorry, you guys can't fight anymore.
That would be, yeah. That should be how every like
just
match
do it
that
on
ends in a
Christmas.
tie. Or yeah, you can't play Call of Duty on Christmas. Both of the sides have agreed to a truce.
If we ever had the know-how to make a video game, we'd make something that everyone just hates. Because
Yeah.
of all these, we're like, it's funny though, and they're like, we're trying to play a game here, man.
No, look, like if we call it an art game, we'll get a little bit of extra leeway if the gameplay sucks. Okay.
People pity us. Like, oh,
Yeah, people are like, oh no, the game is not fun to play, but they are saying something with the game, so we do have to cut them some slack.
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome folks. It's another episode of DrawBomb. It's the Drizzle Bizzle.
Wait, what? What's the what?
No, it's the DrawBomb. Don't worry. Don't.
Oh.
Anyway. When I was living with my ex, we used to play a bunch of the Nancy Drew games, and we got to calling them Nance Drizzles.
I like it.
Yeah. Kind of became our code word. I was like, hey, you ready for the drizzle? And she'd be like, let's fire it up.
Yes.
And we'd play Nancy Drew for like 3 hours.
Great. Have you played them all? Have you beat them? Have you solved
here's-
every... Are you on the same level as Nancy Drew? Have you solved everything she's solved?
So, to an extent, because they have only update. So, like, first of all, the last one I played, like, the most recently released Nance Drizzle game I've played was released in 2019, I want to say.
Okay.
But, they also, like, we went all the way back from, like, the 2019 game that we played, but all the way back as far as they go, because, like, the website that sells all the Nancy Drew games, Her Interactive, they had, like, you know, you could buy them all, but, like, only up to a certain amount were actually, like ported or optimized for, like, modern Windows machines. Like, if you go back a certain degree of Windows games, it's like the code is, like, so archaic that, like, newer computers...
I assumed it was all like DOS abandonware or something at this point.
A
Maybe
lot
it's
of
not
it
that old
is.
to be DOS, but
I mean, they go way
remember
back, but,
playing them.
like, they released, like, a Nancy Drew game in 2019 that we bought, that we played. So it's like...
how was the new one?
It was good. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's like the graphics get better, the gameplay gets more streamlined, the puzzles are still complicated as hell. One thing I actually really like about the Nancy Drew games is it's a point-and-click adventure game, but, like, a lot of point-and-click adventure games just kind of boil down to you get the item and that's your key for this action, and then, like, that's how you... It's, like, all about, like, finding the right key for the right lock, and that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
that's true. Kind of
But,
even
like,
Resident Evil does that.
yeah, but like that's all they have. But like Nancy Drew will be like, okay, you found the key for the lock. Now you have to solve this logic puzzle or do this like mini game that requires you to figure out like math about like there's one that's like this cookie game where you have to like put together cookie orders. But you have to like look at the cookie they're requesting and then ascertain like the pattern that you need to use to make the cookie and then do that. Like they have a lot of mini games that are like these logic puzzles. And those are extra fun for me because I like that shit.
I didn't know that you solved cookie mysteries in the game.
You do, yeah. That one's actually
Maybe
in
I'll
the
have to reconsider
2017
the series.
game, The Silent Spy, I believe, where you go to Ireland to find your mother after you find a letter from her. And then you take up a side job selling cookies in order to progress in the plot.
Wow. She's like, wow, I did not have the right funding for this mystery.
Yeah.
I need to take up a second job besides mystery solving, I guess.
Nancy Drew's like voice acting in those games is really funny too. It's like it feels like a relic. Like her voice is, it's her voice acting is so close to like the TikTok text to speech voice without actually being that. It's weird.
We
'cause,
have
like,
to make some cookies.
yeah, she just talks like she's smiling all the time. It's
Even when
very
you're, like,
funny.
Spooky skeleton nearby, or you're like
Oh, there's never any.
about to get crushed or
It's
something. What are the puzzles like?
It's
Is there ever
like
a threat?
there are threats.
There's no
I mean,
spooky skeletons?
there are threats, but it's not like ever. It's never like supernatural. It's all grounded in.
There's
in
nothing
reality.
supernatural about a skeleton.
A spooky
I have
skeleton.
bad news for you, Ian.
Brandon.
There's a skeleton in the room with you right now,
Oh my god.
and it's you.
He's trying to break
Inside
free.
It's inside your goddamn body. Dude.
Yeah, but there's no skeletons without musculature that are like coming to life and trying to free
I don't think I ever said that. I just
Nancy's
said
skeleton from
spooky.
her.
And one could argue that every skeleton has some spookiness to it
So you got some
because
spooky
it's
in you?
missing its meat armor, and that makes it scary.
Oh my god. Sometimes you have you have to call the Hardy Boys because they exist in the same universe as Nancy Drew, and then
Well,
like they argue with each other, and it's
What's the ranking between the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew? Is one like more? Is one better? Who has better reviews on Google in this universe?
I don't remember the names of the Nancy Drew boys or the Hardy Boys off the top of my head. I'm gonna say it's like Michael and Greg, and there's one who's like clearly kind of like the leader, and the one who's it's like how Scooby and Shaggy, like Shaggy is obviously the leader of Scooby, but Scooby still gets shit done when he needs to, you know? It's kind of like that.
See, Scooby's a dog.
It's kind of a very Scooby and Shaggy dynamic, but one's a person instead of a dog. But like Scooby talks, he says English words. He goes roinks, raggy.
Right, and they do understand him. Everyone understands him. It's not like a Stewie situation.
Yeah. Which they also sometimes they understand. I mean, they have a whole
Yeah, I
episode of Family Guy that ends
Right.
with that, which cracks me up. Hi, so do they understand the baby when it talks, or what's the deal? And then like just a confused teacher in the episode ends.
I remember that one.
It's a good one. But yeah, look, all I'm saying is I like the Nancy Drew games. Okay.
And I'm just trying to make some content out of that. I mean, that's not that's like boring, but you know, I'm just.
No, I know we're trying to.
I'm
farm
digging.
that
I'm digging in.
You gotta dig. You gotta dig. I've only ever beaten one Nancy Drew game without ever cracking open a guide, and I feel very proud about that.
So they're pretty like unfair.
No, they're just hard as shit. Like because like
Right,
there's
but
logic puzzles.
one could argue that's unfair if it's like, you know, in a mystery game. You'd have to argue, or I would argue that they have to give you the right threads to pull.
They do, yeah.
And
No, sometimes it's unfair, and it's like, you know, sometimes Elden Ring is unfair, but sometimes Elden Ring is also very fair, and it's just like you suck, and it's kind of like that, you know.
Sure. One time we went to an escape room, and I've done a few, and I think they're very, very fun when they are like set up well.
Yeah.
But anybody can build an escape room, and we went to this one time that was just like Absolutely. There's no way. Like when they're like, all right, here's what you missed. We're like, fuck you. We're all like, no way. No, who's won? Has anyone ever beat this without clues? Doubt it. Doubt it.
Well, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to cross-reference the atomic number of xenon with etc. The Nancy Drew, I don't know, I'd have to play them again. I've considered like purchasing them and playing them on stream at some point because I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be very fun. You should do that.
Some of them are like the one that I solved without any guide. That one felt very fair. I almost resorted to a guide and then I forgot that there was a floorboard you can look under, and then I looked under that floorboard like after 3 hours of like clicking around looking for whatever I needed to do next. And it was like I gave myself 10 more minutes and I'm looking at the guide, and then like on the 9th minute I click on the floorboard and I'm like, right, you can look under the floorboard
at the 47th hour.
That's right. That is
real
a phrase.
quick.
What's up?
We got people in the chat. Lotus Clock, Leviathan Den, welcome.
Whoa, we got people in the chat.
Lotus Clock says, put Cliff Knightley in the crowd, in the stand. So there's a challenge for you as the...
Boy.
You can draw him, or you can point at one of those silhouettes.
Yeah, I was gonna say one of these silhouettes. I've already drawn Cliff.
It's up to you. It's up to you. Leviathan Den says, oh, I had a feeling it was gonna be football themed. Why? What gave you that idea?
What? Get out of here.
Lotus Clock says the football bomb man looks like he's trying to pee, and he's annoyed that everyone's looking at him. He might be.
He looks like, yeah, he's like, if we put if we change this background into a bathroom.
I wonder if anybody ever is like on the top of a dog pile and starts peeing. Is like, is that illegal? Do you get a flag thrown for that? Hey,
I don't know if you get a flag on the play, but I do feel like no one looks at you the same, like in the locker room or. It's like, you know how there's like fire inspectors who can like look at a burnt down like ruins and determine where the fire started based on like the scorch patterns and things like that. I feel like someone would be like, okay, well, this guy's, you can see the piss is running down his back, which he couldn't have pissed on his own back. But if we follow the stream upwards, we do find the central location, the start of the stream is running down player number 56's left leg.
Yeah. That would work. You get your CSI urine division guys in there.
I would love to see the CSI like minor non-crimes edition where it's like we have to find out who farted. You know?
Yeah.
That would be
we
fun.
could write that down.
Yeah, that's true. That could be a sketch. I will actually write that down.
Yeah.
Right.
You're the writer.
That down. CSI Who Farted edition. I do remember they had like, I don't know if they ever did multiple episodes of this show, but I do remember I watched the season or the series premiere of CSI Cyber, but like,
well,
it was, I want to say it was like, I didn't watch it with the volume on though, so I want to say I watched it at work or something. Like I was at the restaurant that we were working at and we had it on one of the TVs or something, but we never had TVs in the restaurant, so how would that work? No, we did have a TV in the restaurant. That's how I watched Left Shark. But like I remember watching the CSI Cyber and just like writing like a synopsis of what I was seeing without the volume on, and then like I live tweeted like that series premiere, like just based on what I was like interpreting from the screen. And it looked goofy. Let's just say it just looked goofy. It looked like...
They're all goofy.
Yeah, they're all pretty goofy TV shows.
My favorite part about... And I get why they have to do it, because they're like 30-minute shows. Or I guess they're probably an hour, right? But they like...
yeah, I guess so.
You solve a whole ass mystery. But I love how it always... Like, they never mixed up the formula. It would always be at the end where they'd be like, here's my evidence and my theory, and they'd say it to like the person who's like guilty or who is their like suspect, and then the person would be like, okay, fine, I had to do it, and here's why, and here's how I did it, and here's why I did it.
Yeah, it's
They're like,
it's
you're
always
going
the
away for a
formula.
long time, and they're like, no. It's like, why do you guys all give up the bag every time?
Yeah, well, it's like
a little pressure.
First of all, if they ever solve the crime in the first if they solve the crime in like the first half hour, you know that that's not the person who did it. It's because like it's too early. And second of all, yeah, they do very often have the like Phoenix Wright turnabout situation where every have you ever played any
Great way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm kind of playing through them honestly, like not actively, but I started them and I haven't finished them, but I plan to.
Did you start them after I bought them and you're playing them off my?
No, I got like the full thing on my Switch. I think I figured that'd be a good.
That is a good way to play it.
System to play them on.
Yeah, for sure. That feels I bought them on Steam because they were like $10 or something like that, and cool. I wanted them because I played them like on a friend's borrowed DS like way back in the day, and they were awesome. So,
nice. People seem to love them. I like the little bit I've played.
Yeah, but yeah, every single Phoenix Wright case, you eventually break down the person's defense so much that they freak out and go, ah, Sabanya, I did it.
I like that.
Yeah. So that's how CSI ends too. Is like they'll eventually they'll bring up enough evidence and the person will just have a freak out and be like, I had to do it, okay? They were gonna give me an F. And that's
I never get F's. You don't understand.
I wasn't gonna make it into Juilliard. Like, yeah, I have. Times. Me too. I'm referencing a specific episode.
Multiple episodes have that.
Yeah.
No, you see, they gave me an like a C, and then like everybody stares at him, and they're like, "You don't understand. I don't get C's." The next line.
I want to do the CSI. You did the crime stare that like either the lawyer or the parent or like the CSI lawyer who's like watching the person have the freak out. They always have like a stare that they give the person who is admitting like I murdered the person. They're like. And that's the crime. That's the thing.
You do it one more time. Sorry, I was looking at the not to make you like.
Oh, I wasn't sure if the lag on the screen.
Oh, so they're surprised that they actually got it.
Well, it's usually like the parent who's like, "No, my daughter's innocent," and then like the daughter freaks out and like, or it's like the lawyer who's like, "No, don't say this. Yeah, you shouldn't be saying this." There's always like. Depending on like their relationship to the like suspect or whatever, it's like it plays out the same. The lawyer's like, "Don't say this. My client will have to. My client, blah blah blah," or the parent is just like, "No, honey, you couldn't. Why would you? No." It's like, it's the same every time. It's very funny.
You know, Dick Wolf is writing 30 shows a week. What do you expect from this man?
Yeah, man. It's like, look, they say that there are like 12 sorts of storylines, and Shakespeare made like 8 of them. So, you know, Dick Wolf is Shakespeare. Or what am I saying?
What a name.
What a name. That can't be his real name.
Probably not. But wow, what a great name.
Hi, my name is Penis Unicorn, and I've created the new television show Amazing Crimes.
I'm sure he was made fun of in school, but now it's like fucking cool. Dick Wolf.
Dick Wolf. No, everyone's got like a fake name in like a pen name or something like that. Like if you make it big in Hollywood, you can just make your own name. You can just be like, yeah, and everyone's calling me Brad Pitt now.
Can I just do that now, or do I have to wait till I'm famous?
I mean, I think you might as well do it before you get famous. Otherwise, people will know you by your current name. You have to like do it expecting to get famous. It's like, you know.
Well, I do expect that. You know, like how could it go any other way, right?
Yeah.
With this much talent.
People don't know how much talent.
What's gonna be your Hollywood name?
I already said it. Penis Unicorn.
Oh, Penis Unicorn. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Or maybe Penis Pegasus. I don't know. I have to think about it.
You're going
Cock
directly
Pegasus.
the Dick Wolf route. Like
Cock Pegasus. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. I had to think about it.
I'm trying to think of something that doesn't go the Dick route.
Why would you ever?
I know, right? It's a mistake. It's a pitfall. It'd be like Cock Phoenix. I decided to go that route. I respect your. You say Cock Phoenix?
No, I said Cock Pegasus.
Oh no, not Cock then. You went with Dick something else for.
I said Penis Unicorn, but I decided Cock Pegasus had a better ring to it.
You're taking too many of the names.
You can use penis now, okay? Like penis is open.
It's not subtle enough.
My penis is open for you.
No, thank you. Real quick, Zone Dog subscribed.
Whoa!
31 month streak. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Says, you know why football players are so fit? Because they're into hiking.
Wow. Wow. Wow, you're so dominant.
That's amazing.
I don't want to draw anymore.
I don't want to be on this show with Cock Pegasus at this point, man. He's getting real weird. So let's talk about the superb owl, as is the colloquialism that, you know, people like to come up with a new name for football, or you know, the Super Bowl every couple of years to remind people, like, I don't give a shit. And the latest one I've heard, the latest iteration is the superb owl. And
I like that.
I'm not looking to change it right now. But did you watch the footing ball sport?
I did.
Wow.
We were hanging out with some. Thank you. We were hanging out with some family who was interested. So I hung out and watched and ate a bunch of snacks. It's pretty fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it was. I didn't really care about either team. I'm not like trying to do that like thing where I'm like, guess how much I didn't care. Like,
you don't care about football, do you?
Sometimes I'm interested in like one or the other. This time I didn't really.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that really, and I want to get into this a little bit, but not too much, because I'm sure it's what everybody's been talking to you about. But part of my like interest in who won was due to the just like extremely parasocial, like, well, that's a whole nother thing, but no, more so the parasocial, like, people's relationship with Taylor Swift, and just like how, like, there's people on my Facebook who are like somebody I went to high school with who's like posting actively about, like, never watched football before, but I'm so excited for this team because it's like Taylor Swift's boyfriend type thing.
Interesting. You know,
and then they're like posting updates, and it's just like, it's not like, I don't care if you, it's a little weird to me, but I don't care if you're like that obsessed with like a celebrity. It's just, it's fascinating. I feel like I'm like at the zoo, like watching a very unique creature. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
It's hard for me to wrap my brain around, so it's really interesting to me.
I don't want to be conspiratorial, and this is not the sort of conspiracy that, wait, Austin is like spamming sound alerts, but I haven't heard a single one.
He's burning points.
Yeah, but did we take away the careless whisper sax? Have we put in the?
I don't know.
CBAT.
We didn't know. I mean,
sax yet?
I haven't done that. No, I want to.
You know what? I don't think I have. Is sound alert? Oh, I haven't logged into sound alerts. I would need to. Okay, yeah, I guess sound alerts.
That explains it.
Is not functioning right now. That's a shame. But I do have a conspiracy. So, like, here's the thing. I didn't watch the game, but I was in the room with my parents while my dad watched the game. The game was like on in the room I was in, and I was there for like maybe an hour. Like, I stuck around for like I saw some of the, like, I didn't see some of the game, but I was in the room where some of the game was being showcased on a TV, and then I saw the halftime show. No, I just didn't care enough to look over and be like I would look over one occasionally and be like, oh wow, the Chiefs haven't scored yet. Oh wow, the Chiefs finally got a score. Oh, I saw them kick like the world's record football, or the field goal. It was
the world's record football.
Yeah, they kicked that world record football all the way over the football. So I did see some of it, and I felt like the commercials, like a lot of times you'll watch like the Super Bowl and the commercials will be like beer and pizza and hanging out with the guys and this and that. And I did feel like a lot more of the commercials were sort of catering more towards like a female audience than they were before. The show felt a little bit more like the catering was a bit less towards the dude bros, you know, which I'm not sure if that's just me expecting both the Super Bowl and like advertisers to be aware that Taylor Swift's presence at the game would drive viewership of like women.
They're very aware.
They're very aware, I feel like. And so like I felt like a lot of the advertising and stuff was catered like more to be inclusive of that sort of stuff.
Throughout the season,
which was
I've
interesting to
heard
see.
a lot of people comment on like they're mad, like, okay, I don't care about Taylor Swift. Bleh. And like I get, or I normally think that's kind of silly. Like who gives a shit? Like if they are talking about Taylor Swift or whatever. But we were watching last night, and Morgan's stepdad, he's like, he's not that guy, but he did make a comment where he's like, he doesn't give a shit about like stuff like that. But he was like he's just annoying because they just like they're obsessed with it. Like the NFL knows what they're doing.
For sure.
Literally anytime, what's his name? Travis Kelce did something good or bad in the game, the camera would immediately go to Taylor Swift in the stands. Like they legit did it like 15 times. And like when they won, the camera, before it went to like the coaches or the players, like they went straight to Taylor Swift. They know exactly what they're doing, and I get it. I get why. I mean, they have a new audience who is watching for that reason only.
They've literally opened up the gap like to a whole like 48% or whatever the percentage of people in America are women. They've like now opened the gap up to at least some of that like demographic that they didn't have before. Not saying that no women ever watched football. Like I've known plenty of women who gave a shit about football long before T-Swizzles.
But most of them weren't Swifties. There's probably, I'm sure there was some overlap in that Venn diagram, but it wasn't a ton.
Yeah.
But I got what he was annoyed with, because he's like, okay, we get it. Like, he's like, I don't care. Like, not like he's like, I like Taylor Swift. I don't have any problem with her, but like, why is that? They're showing more Taylor Swift than they're showing football. And I get that. That's strange.
Yeah, it is strange. I'm not super bothered by it because when I was like there for the first half of the game in the room, anytime Taylor Swift was shown on the TV, Dad would go, "Oh, there's Taylor Swift," and he only said it like twice. Like I feel like they didn't cut to the Taylor Swift as much as people maybe like to think. I think
they did. I swear, because I started making jokes by the end of the game. Every time he did something, I'm like, all right, where is she? Where is she? And then the camera would be on her. I'm like, oh, good, there she is. She's good. She's fine.
Interesting. I don't know. It didn't feel
they did it a lot.
But again, I wasn't actually watching the game, so who knows? I was just going off of like Dad shouting, "Oh, they're showing Taylor Swift again," and I remember him saying it like 3 times. Maybe they said it more as like the game progressed and like the Chiefs were actually scoring. I don't know.
They got to overtime and it was suspenseful, and they were showing her like every second. And once again, I don't even care that much about that. I'm not like upset about it. It's just kind of interesting.
It is interesting.
That's a better way to describe it.
But if you like
fascinated.
If you watch like an LA Lakers game though, like they'll always be like, "Oh, Jack Nicholson's on the court. Oh, there's David Beckham hanging out."
Super Bowl
watching
did that, where they showed every celebrity that was at the game,
but it was
they only
Taylor
showed them
Swift.
once.
They showed Taylor Swift like over and over and over.
They had a cam. I guarantee whoever the cameraman was he had one job that night.
Yeah,
and it was to keep it pointed at Taylor Swift.
All right, you gotta keep the view on Taylor Swift, okay? You better. If I see one fucking second, I want Taylor Swift on screen, and she's not there. I'm coming for your ace. And
like I said, I'm not like bothered by that. It's just kind of funny. It's like it's very transparent what they're doing.
Oh yeah. I felt like there was also a bit more pandering towards a non-male dominated audience, which is fine. Again, like, you know. I'm not sure, and I'm not even sure if that was taken into account when it comes to the advertising, all that stuff. But it just seems I felt that, but I don't know. I'm not like a big Super Bowl guy, like, and like I forgot that the fucking Eagles played in last year's Super Bowl even. So
I didn't even watch last year.
I apparently didn't. I feel like I would have, but I also feel like after a certain point, the Eagles biffed it so hard that I was just like, okay, yeah, I know how this is going.
One thing I noticed, I haven't really watched the game since I watched some football games this season just because the Lions got like 1 game away from being in it, and that's interesting just because it's never happened, and you know, a lot of people I know are interested. But that, and then also the Super Bowl, I'm realizing I'm old because I'm like, every time somebody gets hit, I'm like, oh, that fucking looked like it was painful. And like, as a kid, I never paid attention to that one time, you know?
Yeah.
So
I realize I'm getting old because of the amount of like guests on Hot Ones who are younger than me. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, that's brutal.
I'm used to like
You're watching.
I'm just used to watching TV shows, and like for instance, like I watch Friends with my parents, like we watched through the whole series, and like all the characters are like, I'm 26 now, I'm 27 now, and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm like 8 years older than the Friends. And that was a very big
That's always a
realization
weird
for
one
me.
for me too.
Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off. You were saying something. I'm sorry.
No, I think we talk over each other. That's okay. I think I did it to you before that.
How dare you?
We were watching some video of I think it was like a maid of honor speech or something. Morgan was watching it on her phone. I don't know who it was, but
was like
the girl made that one
Instagram
joke where
or
she's
TikToks?
like, this is the best day of your life aside from, you know, May 4th, like 2003. That's when I was born. And Morgan goes, what the fuck? Because like this girl was like, I don't know, I guess she was 20, but she looked older, and that
She was not.
Morgan's 5 years younger than me, but like saying she was born 2003 like really like shook Morgan to her core a little bit. And I'm like, welcome. I've been feeling this. I feel this every day. Now you're getting it's gonna happen to you too now.
Yeah. I've like stopped a couple of episodes of Hot Ones because I've been like, this person is so much younger than me. I have like, there's nothing that they could say that would like benefit my worldview. You know what I mean? It's like, I had.
You're really shaking your cane at these kids.
I am. I felt like a little old man.
Get off my lawning.
Get off my lawning. But I was like, what? And like, there's only so many times they can be like, so you studied film acting, and your favorite thing was when you talked to Chevy Chase, and Chevy Chase told you, fuck you, you fucking prick. What do you have to say about acting in the modern age of I don't know, Hot Ones question, but like after a while, like I can only hear so many stories about like, oh yeah, I talked to a famous person and they said, keep it up, slugger. And I'm like, I don't care. So it's like sometimes I'm like waiting in the interview for someone to say something interesting about anything in the real world or something like that, which you're not going to get out of a lot of like, you know, it's as fun as Hot Ones.
Just talk show interviews.
Yeah, as fun as Hot Ones is, it is still fluff, you know. They're never going to be like, so what are your thoughts on I don't know, anti-disestablishmentarianism? Well, you see, I think if we really consider establishmentarianism and then the anti-disassembling of that, you're never going to get that sort of question on Hot Ones, and that's fine.
Gosh, too bad.
Yeah, what a shame.
Bad. I want to know.
You can tell people are really clamoring for that.
I want to know what Timothy Charlemagne has to say about that.
Timothy Chalamet.
While he eats spicy wing.
Yeah.
I do like Hot Ones, but like...
I do like Hot Ones, yeah.
Interviews. The older I get, I'm also getting curmudgeon-y where I'm just like, who gives... I don't give a fuck about what any of these people think.
Yeah.
I'll just watch the videos where it's like somebody I'm interested in, and everybody else I'm just not even going to watch it because I don't care. There's nothing they could say that I'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
You don't say.
And that's the thing is like sometimes they'll interview, like they were interviewing I don't know, Jenny Ortega the one time, and like I was like, she's in Wednesday, she's a good actress. She's like 20. Like I don't know. I feel like when I was 20, I was a fucking idiot. So it's like what is a 20-year-old?
You were. I knew you.
Yeah. I feel very bad for anyone who had to interact with 20-year-old Ian. But I'm like, you know, I was a fucking idiot when I was 20. Most of the people I knew who were 20 when I was 20 were also fucking idiots. Like how much less of a fucking idiot is Jenny Ortega at 20 going to be than me?
They can at least
really.
They can at least hire people to help them.
This is true.
Prepare for these things.
This is true.
And also, I think you like the interview is not really like fully on the fly, right? Like you discuss like what we're going to talk about. At least that's how the talk shows do it. I don't know.
That's how talk shows.
I assume so.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. With a lot of times in Hot Ones, like Sean will start asking a question, and they'll be like, "Wow, you did your research," and it's like that's like a common thing on Hot Ones is people being like, "Wow, this question, I didn't expect this question," and that could be scripted for all I know. But
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's more so, I guess, like, and I guess Hot Ones doesn't do as much of this, but it's more so the like when you're doing like anecdotes. Like, okay, so last week, me and the kids went to get dinner. All right, yeah, okay. So they only were like they're doing that on, like Jimmy Fallon or something.
Or they're just like kind of like riffing, but like in a
They're like telling a story.
yeah.
Like that's like a big chunk of what talk shows are. Is like you come with a story.
Yeah.
And then
have
you
to,
like hold your book up and then you leave.
Yeah, I feel like there's a, like I've seen like back in the days when Louis C.K. was still respected. I remember seeing like Louis C.K. on a couple of talk shows, and then I would like recognize like, oh, you're just doing your bit, like you're just doing one of your stand-up bits like right now, and that was fine. That's actually how I discovered him in the first place, was him doing one of his stand-up bits on like the Colin Ferguson show or whatever the hell that guy's name was. And so yeah, I assume that like a lot of times someone will be like, hey, so you're gonna be on our show. Do you have any fun stories to tell about Jack Nicholson? Oh yeah, I got a great story to tell about Jack Nicholson. One time he like tried to fucking punch me. I don't know. And then they'll tell that story. And I'm assuming they get clearance before they tell the story, because it's like they've never had a celebrity go on and be like, yeah, one time I shit myself and like, man, I kept shitting and like the shit was running down my leg. And then Jimmy Kimmel's never like, hey, can you stop this story, please? Like, I don't, no one wants to hear this. We have people throwing up.
Well, you know, they have some disgust stories ahead, ready to go, like we were saying. And
Yeah.
B, they cut stuff if it's not.
This is true. Yeah, it's not like straight
Not gonna fly.
taped to live. You know, they do.
Like the only example I have in my life was I went to Conan one time when I was in LA, and Kesha was the guest. Thank God. Big cash head over here. And at one point he was just like, they were just doing their riffing or something, and he just asked her a question that had nothing to do with this, but then I forget what the context even was, but regardless, he asked a question, she was trying to be funny, and she's like, are you slut shaming me? And he's just like, no. And then he moved on to the next thing. When it was on TV, that part was not in it. The awkward moment. So you can surmise that happens fairly often with
That's fair.
people.
Yeah. Hey, can you
Like
not
any awkwardness, any weird thing is just like it's not gonna be in the show.
Yeah, we had to trim out that part where George Clooney admitted to crimes. We had to trim that from the edit. So yeah, that is fair. What were we talking about? The Superb Owl.
We were, but then we moved on to
Yeah, we were kind of doing our usual
interviews
thing
and
of
stuff like that. But yeah, so Super Owl, it was fine. I didn't really care that much.
What were your thoughts on the
hanging
halftime
out
show?
It was good. I've seen some really bad ones. This one was good. Everybody seemed to be able to perform. Sometimes they don't. I still famously remember a Black Eyed Peas show from like when I was a kid, and I was just like, even then I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, no, everybody sounded terrible. I know the one you're talking
about too. I know the one you're because I remember hating it too as a kid, being like, what am I fucking watching?
And I wasn't even like, I hate these songs necessarily because I was a kid, but I was like, I hate these songs right now because they're butchering them.
Right. Yeah, I sure can dance. I liked his dancing. I thought that the dance moves were cool.
You can still sing. I was happy that Ludacris was there.
I was happy that they played the Usher songs that I would have wanted them to play. Like they played Let It Burn, and they played Yeah. It was funny because when I could hear like the whoop beep, whoop beep, synth line for whatever the name of that song actually is. I think it's just called Yeah. I was like, oh man, I hope they've toned down that awful triangle instrument that is in that song. No, it was like 10 times louder. You know the triangle I'm talking about?
I as someone who does not produce music, I'm sure, like, I'm not deaf. I'm sure if I listened to it and was like searching for it, I'd hear it immediately.
You'll never unhear it.
Because I haven't focused on that, and I also don't make music, I have not noticed it, or at least I don't think I have.
So, and I'm gonna ruin the song for you now.
That's okay. I don't love it that much. I don't really feel much for it.
I think it's a classic. I think it's a great song.
Yeah, it's definitely a classic, but I don't really like if it comes on the radio, I might listen to it, but I don't seek it out really. It's like kind of in that space of like,
Yeah.
I know this song well, and it is a classic. I don't think it's a bad song. I just don't. Not a go-to for me.
Like, you know, it's a very culturally significant song. It's not a song you hate, but if someone gave you the aux cable, you wouldn't be like rushing to like, oh, this song's gotta fucking go on.
Yeah,
the list, you know?
I'm not the one putting it on, but if it's on, I'll listen to it. You know.
Yeah, that's fair. You might sing along. You might go yeah with it.
I'll definitely go yeah.
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 So in that song, it goes like, "Foop, beep, foop, beep," and then there's like a triangle instrument that just goes ding ling 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 ling, and it's so shrill, and it's like a resonant peak on that motherfucker is like in like the 9,000 hertz range or something like that. It is so painful to the ear if you like, and like once you notice it, you're just like, damn, I really wish this triangle was toned the fuck down. And then like that triangle instrument came on almost immediately when that song was playing, and it was like 10 times louder. They were like, no, that triangle needs to go up. Like, we're not gonna EQ that shit. It was an intense triangle.
Why are you trying to ruin yeah for me? Next time I hear him, I'm gonna be like, no. Am I right, guys?
I was trying to figure out how to
anyways.
work that joke into things, but I couldn't figure it out. Yeah.
I move pretty quick.
You do. You float like a butterfly, and you make jokes like me.
Like a bee movie.
That's right. It should not be able to fly, by all logic. Anyways, I thought the halftime show was fine. Ludacris, they played all the songs I would have wanted to play from Usher. They brought Ludacris, they brought Lil Jon. Kyle says it was chill. Gauge guitar time. Yeah, I don't understand that one, but there was a person who played some guitar.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was happy to see Luda.
Me too. His getup was kind of like funny because, and I'm not sure if maybe he's just getting older so he can't like move as nimbly as before. But he was wearing like that huge like football padded like sort of jersey getup that he was wearing, and it looked so big on him. It looked like he was like swimming in it, like it was like huge, and he would be like, and it maybe because his shoulders were like hunching up and like pushing the pads up higher, it looked so big on him.
It kind of felt like he was dressed like classic Luda. Like if Luda stepped through a time machine from when that song was produced.
I agree.
To now, he was dressed in kind of that way. He had his hair like it used to be.
Yeah, it was definitely throwback.
Real
That
quick,
was like in like a wrestling or fighting game. If Ludacris like he had an alternate costume, that was like a throwback costume. You know, he came out in that instead. You know what I mean?
yeah, I like it. One time I was in Tennessee, and there's this town called Gatlinburg. Some of you might know it. It's basically a tourist town, like to the nth degree. I don't think it offers anything for people who aren't visiting. You know, it's like one of those towns, like basically a theme park if it were a town.
Right.
It's got like all these like wax museums and like gift shops and like Dollywood, which is like Dolly Parton's theme park she has.
Oh yeah, I've heard of
Tennessee.
Dollywood.
It's just very like tourist. Anyways, it's also very mountainous out there, and we were walking down the street and there was a zip lining company, and I'm sure they get the rights like from the moment you sign up for them to use your likeness or whatever photos they take. But there's just this picture of, you know, it was nothing was like produced, nothing was posed, but it was Ludacris riding the zip line, and he looked it was unflattering. He was like, going down a zip line, and it made me laugh a lot, and I remember it.
That's amazing.
I will remember it forever.
Was he going fast and furious?
He was. I mean, he didn't look furious, but he was going fast, all right.
That's funny. I wish I could see that photo. I bet somebody's
Yeah.
uploaded it on like to Reddit or something like that.
Maybe. If you know, you don't think of it at the time, but I should have taken a photo of it.
Yeah. That's fair. You're not like always looking for opportunities for Reddit clout.
Yeah, I didn't know that I'd be talking about this on Twitch, 15 years later or whatever.
Who could have guessed? You wouldn't. 15 years ago, I don't think Twitch even existed.
Oh, the ziplining did, and Ludacris knew it.
Oh man. He was just there for the zipline, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
What's crazy is my Twitch account goes all the way back to 2012. Like, it might have still been called Justin TV by that point. Holy shit.
Last couple Super Bowl things I want to talk about. First off, I'm just gonna straight up be an old person.
Oh boy.
Were there any commercials you liked?
God, no.
I hate to,
fuck no.
No, there was one I liked actually.
What was it? Okay, go ahead. What was it?
I think Tim and Eric produced it honestly, but it was a lotion commercial for CeraVe, but they got Michael Cera to like.
Oh, that's funny.
And he's like climbing a mountain. He's like, "Let me moisturize you with my cream," and he's like, got like a jug of like lotion on his side, and he's like standing next to these like big models that are like 2 feet, like a foot taller than him. I don't know. It was funny. I'll send it to you.
That's good. Yeah, please do.
Like that one.
I sounded very old man yelling at clouds when I was like, "Fuck no," but like I don't know. I don't know if that was maybe during the second half.
I hate that I like them. I mean, like I guess like they're gonna be on either way, so if they're enjoyable, that's good. But I always hate I feel like I'm a sap. Like I'm a mark if I'm
You're
like
such a mark
enjoying
if
a commercial.
Yeah, I feel like a mark if I like the
I hate
commercials for sure. And like here's the thing, I'm open to liking one of the commercials because at least he made an entertaining 30-second thing, like But I felt like again, I wasn't like super like keyed into the like Super Bowl. I wasn't like watching. I was like playing a game on my iPad. But whenever the commercials came on, what was that? A football game? Yeah,
a football game?
I was playing a football game.
Good.
But whenever the commercials would come on, they just felt like loud and obnoxious and like over like just like a sound cacophony to me, and like they'd be like I would hear just like slash and like then like they'd hear like, oh hey, it's that celebrity's name, and then they'd go back to
yeah, they did a lot of that. Oh hey, it's that celebrity's name, and that just was like ugh, every time.
Yeah,
because they're like, it's like I'm Bert. He's dead.
Yeah,
rip torn in peace. But just for the sake of the joke, I'm Burt Reynolds, and want you to use Discover Card, and also look who's here. It's Justin Timberlake.
Yeah,
and he's like, hi, I'm Justin Timberlake, and I'm here because you wouldn't expect me to be here, but I am. So that means, I guess that's a joke.
Yeah,
is that a joke? Just that I'm here?
Yes.
When you wouldn't expect me?
Those are jokes. Those are jokes now. Yeah, I felt like it would be like just like the most annoying and like busy soundscape you could imagine, and then you'd hear like, oh hey, it's famous celebrity, it's Austin Butler, it's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, it's this, it's
that was one.
Yeah, and it just felt like the cacophony of it was grating to me. It
also, like, being an old man, I'm watching those commercials and I'm like, how much do they pay
so much money,
Matt Damon to be in a Super Bowl commercial? Like what's the line? Where do you?
Well, to be fair, Matt Damon probably wasn't Matt Damon in like those like BTX commercials, like the Super Bowl right before Bitcoin, like, or FTX. Wasn't Matt Damon in like an FTX commercial like 3 months before they were
this
like,
guy's an entrepreneur.
We lost $80 billion or however much money they lost. Like,
he was doing commercials where it was more so just trying to sell crypto like as an idea than the actual like the specific one. It's just like, crypto, try it already. Like, something like that.
So it's like, I don't know, he probably got paid and didn't lose his money unless he invested in crypto, but maybe Matt Damon is a cheaper get nowadays. Since
they probably gave him his paycheck and he's like, fuck that, I'm not spending on crypto. Shit's dumb. Anyways, thanks for the gig. Bye.
Do you think did you see any crypto commercials during the Super Bowl this year? Because I do remember.
No.
I do remember that crypto commercials were huge. Super Bowl 2023. Was 2023 the year it all crashed, or was that 2022?
I think 2022. Maybe, I don't know.
I want to say 2022. I feel like 2023 is still too fresh.
But no, I didn't see any. Saw
Okay.
some. I'm trying to think what are some interesting ones I saw. I saw like 3 commercials advertising Jesus.
Oh, great.
There was.
I haven't heard enough about him.
He's a pretty good guy apparently, from what I learned from the Super Bowl
Oh man.
commercial.
You know, I know he loves
I'm
me.
gonna look into
I
this
know.
Jesus character. How for the Super Bowl commercial told
Or
me
the
so.
Super Bowl told me so.
There it is. What else? I think there are any other strange ones. It's weird. It's weird when you know how expensive it is, and then you see some of these things, and you're like, "Whoa! I didn't know they had. I didn't know. I didn't know that carpet company was that liquid."
Has Jake from State Farm been such like a bellwether commercial for State Farm that like, cause like the whole halftime, like first of all, leading up to the Super Bowl, I would keep seeing fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger's face, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's a State Farm movie," ha ha ha, and then like the whole halftime was fucking dedicated from State Farm. It's like
The whole joke was that he has an accent.
yeah, that was the joke, is he can't say what farm neighbor, that's right. Which he can say just fine. It's but anyways,
No, if you don't say it like us, then you're fucking wrong.
that's right. But you know, they did the whole, they sponsored like it was the State Farm halftime commercials. I remember State Farm's commercials used to fucking suck, and then like they had one good like
They still do.
they still do, yes, but they have way more budget behind. Like when I remember they did the very first Jake from State Farm commercial, and it was an entirely different looking Jake from State
It
Farm.
wasn't
like
the same Jake.
It was like a fat white guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a funny commercial, I guess. That's cute. And then like I would hear people quoting that, and I was just like, oh, okay. And then like they brought the commercial back and like made Jake from State Farm a official character that's like in pop culture, that like the zeitgeist now that I have to put up with. And so I'm like, did Jake from State Farm, like just that concept of that commercial, did that truly like boost State Farm's war chest enough that this is like
I think all of it is name recognition. I think that's what it all comes down to, especially with companies like that where like you're getting insurance, you're probably going through State Farm, Progressive, Geico. You're probably going with one of these
because you don't want to look up.
Yeah, exactly, because you've heard these names 1 million times, which is the whole point, and so you're just gonna like compare the 3 and then move on. For the average person,
I mean, if I had to find whatever insurance they're selling, like I just had to get insurance recently, and holy shit, the fucking money on that. But I also went through like the healthcare.gov website to like get set up with a different website that set me up with a different website to get the health insurance. But if I was getting any of the insurances that they're offering on those things, I'd probably go with one of the ones I've heard of instead of like, hi, we're Hula Hoop Insurance. You could trust us, I hope.
I hula hope. I have State Farm because
oh my god,
someone was telling me that like they are comparable to like, have you ever had a neighbor that was like good? Ian?
No, but I did used to watch on YouTube the sketches of the comedy group Good Neighbor.
Okay, yeah.
Before they became parts of Saturday Night Live.
So I heard they were comparable. For that reason, no, actually my sister used to work at State Farm, so she got me some good deals.
Oh, okay.
I have that.
I see. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I haven't owned a car in forever, so like I don't know what insurance I would have to get if I will never own a house, so I'm not sure what insurance I would get to insure that. I don't know. I just remember State Farm's commercials like sucking for the longest time and having no budget, and then it was like all uphill after Jake from State Farm first iteration.
Somebody's got to like this shit, because somebody's got to like it, right? Or else they would have stopped. Like they got to put this in front of. They got to put this in front of like a testing group before it goes on TV. I bet for most of these, and they have to be like, "Wow, yeah, does this make you want to buy car insurance from State Farm?" And they're like, "Yeah, totally."
Yeah, it's
Like,
hilarious
"All right,
how
roll
the
it."
wife. It's hilarious how the wife thinks the husband is cheating.
Oh my God, Flo! Can we give Flo a TV show already? Because she is just something else.
She is.
She is just a spitfire. I love Flo. That's what the testing groups are probably
Flo's eating
saying.
good.
I don't know.
Flo's eating good.
She is, and good for her. I have no hate
Yeah.
for the actress. I
No,
just
God,
think
no.
the commercials are so grating, and so just like
Yeah.
it's no fault of her or the other people in it or anything like that. It's like
It's just
It's
the
not
fact
even
that you
like
have to
that the
watch the
commercials
damn
thems-
commercials all the time, you know? Right?
yeah, it's not even so much that the commercials themselves are like that terrible. They're not. I don't think they're good, but I feel so much nothing for them, and I just have to see them over and over.
Yeah.
And they think they're the biggest fans of their commercials. Like, the people making them think they're fucking hilarious, and that's the part that kind of annoys me, I think.
Yeah, I think commercials have a tendency to be extra annoying. One, because it's like capitalism fully on display. I'm like, oh, can't ignore that. Two, because it's also like they're actively getting in the way of what you're actually trying to do, which is watch a TV show. And so it's like, hey, you could have done this sooner and in a more enjoyable fashion, but you got to look at Flo. Flo's got to try selling you insurance. And then you see the same commercial like 80 times in a week or something like that, because, you see the same certain amount of commercials. Like, it's not like it's a constant stream of new commercials. You're going to see the same Flo commercial.
You also make a good
So
point.
many times.
What annoys me a little bit is just like it has nothing to do with anything, so it just feels like a waste of time. It's just for name recognition. The thing that happens in the commercial has nothing to do with the thing they're selling. There was one last night that it was like I can't remember what it was, but it was something like it was like a heartstring puller one, and like
Those are my
and it was like
favorite.
done. I don't want to say effectively, like I was like, oh, I moved, but like it was done in a way that I think like the average viewer or even me, like just like if I take a step back and just think about like the story they told in like 30 seconds, it was like a sad story,
Yeah,
But then the thing they're selling was like
a car.
then it was like some stupid shit that has nothing to do with the commercial at all. It's like,
Yeah.
you love your family, don't you? Well, if you love your family, then make sure you eat at Chipotle.
Yeah, it's like,
And it's
Dad.
like, what the fuck?
It'll be like a commercial. It'll start and like a woman will tearfully like call somebody and be like, Dad, my baby has cancer. Oh, honey, I'll be there for you. And then they'll go and like have biopsies and do all the tests, and then the baby will finally get cured. And then like the final shot of the commercial will be like the mother holding the baby like grabbing the mom's thumb for like the first time, because the baby's been in like an incubation chamber for cancer babies or something like that for the last 6
Then they
months
feed the
of its
baby
life.
Chipotle.
And then and then it'll be like, don't you want to get Hulu too or something? It's
Like,
always like, ugh.
Special moments are meant for spending with your family.
When Martin Luther King Jr. cemented his legacy as a civil rights icon, he was thrown in jail and told by the FBI to kill himself. When a bullet fatally struck him and silenced his message for good, everyone couldn't help but wonder, isn't Taco Bell right for you? And it's like, I can't like...
Martin Luther King was never able to eat another burrito, but you still have time.
Yeah,
Come on down to Taco Bell.
It's like, it's like so fucked. Like they'll do, and like sometimes, they'll couch it in like a message that you can't technically be against, because then you're a shitty person. But it's like, what does this have to do with
Zero?
Yeah. It's like so
I
fucked.
just hate the like manipulation. That part just makes me like mad.
I can
like
feel the manipulation.
But I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I have one more Super Bowl thing I want to talk about, and I won't go too deep into it because it's like a politics thing. But I don't want to talk about the actual politics half of it.
Okay.
I just think it's an interesting thing. So there's a lot of heavily right-wing conspiracy people that think the football games leading up to the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl itself was scripted.
It was rigged.
So that there would be an opportunity for Taylor Swift to get more attention so that she could then endorse Biden. This is a real conspiracy that really exists.
This is the world we live in.
And it's not amongst some little fringe group. A surprisingly big amount of people think this is the thing.
Oh yeah.
So the thing I wanted to say that I thought was funny is, as we were driving home from the game, like the official Biden Twitter.
The Twitter
You
account.
might have
I
seen
saw
this.
that. Yeah, I did.
Posted a thing that was like, just as we wrote it or something. It's like you, like that's kind of funny. It's
That is
it's
funny,
gonna
yeah.
like, it's gonna like pour gas on the fire of brain rot that a lot of people have, but it is kind of funny.
Yeah,
Just
you might
because it's so
as-
like,
might
why are
as
you
well troll
engaging in this?
Might as well troll like the goofs while you can, you know.
Everything's getting so silly now. It's just like even the president of the United States is like trolling people.
Dude, did you see that dank
funny.
meme the president posted about
Yeah,
the
like
Super
how
Bowl
what's
last
stupid.
night?
Who knew what, like when I think of like a dark future, I'm not picturing like the president posting memes.
Yeah.
It turns out that was
Welcome to our
not on my
modern
bingo card,
dystopia.
and here we are. Yeah.
Here we are. To be fair,
I don't
I mean,
know,
we all know
but-
that it wasn't actually Joe Biden who posted. Joe Biden didn't log
Sure.
into Twitter and be like, "Oh," it was like some social media manager. But it's still a
Yeah.
weird. It's still a weird capsule of like this is our world. This is what we
Yeah.
put up with.
And it's a little funny, but it's also a little bit just like, it's kind of like the same energy of like, you know, it's February and it's warm outside, and I'm like, this is comfortable, but also if I stop and think about why this is happening,
Yeah.
it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Oh, I love this warm February weather. Don't think about climate change. Don't think about climate
Yeah.
change.
Exactly. Like in the day to day, I'm enjoying it, but from a more macro point of view, it's not good.
It's an indictment of culture and society for sure. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I did see that. I did. I had the same sort of like thoughts that you had about the whole situation, which was just like, yeah, this is our world that we live in. This is funny, but also depressing.
Yeah, kind of like, you know, laughing my way all the way to the apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly.
Leviathan Dad says, "B chats, are you having a great beer?" Yeah, it's a classic, Two Hearted.
Hey, I love my some too hard today, you'll.
It's a good one. It's made in Michigan, and I like it a lot. It's probably my favorite beer.
Good beer. Whenever I'm here, I order it because it's got a high ABV and it tastes good. And well, gosh darn it, that's all I need.
I'm not even like seeking out the high ABV anymore. I used to. Now I'm just like, I don't know, looking for something that I like.
I think I mean, here's the thing. I think Two Hearted Ale is a reasonable ABV. It's not like in the 12 range. You know, you're not like drinking it and getting fucked up in one can. And it's not like a tall boy either. But it's like when I'm drinking some beer, like I don't want to drink a bunch of like 2% beers, you know?
Right.
I want to drink like I feel like a 6%, between 6 and 10% is like solid for me because one, I get to feel a little bit of a buzz just from drinking the beer, and it doesn't feel like I'm drinking. Like if I'm gonna drink a 2% beer, I'll just have water, you know? I'll just drink water.
Yeah, that's fair. I like the taste of beer a lot, but a lot of times I don't want to get all like schmammered, you know. So if I want to have like 2 or 3, I don't know, I'll drink like PBR or Modelo or something like that.
Yeah. Nowadays, I'm much better at gauging like what sort of beer I should drink to get like to the comfortable amount of drunk that I want to be at, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I'm drinking Two Hearted.
Two Hearted Ale.
It's a goodie.
It is good. It's a good
Michigan is kind of spoiled. There's a lot of good stuff here.
Yeah, I mean, you have like what 3 brewer, like well, at least when you were living in like the heart of Grand Rapids.
In Grand Rapids, yeah, like I was in the same city, but I mean, like in the state itself, there's just like
yeah.
some of the best stuff is all.
Like you could say that about a lot of states, like because like I think about it, I'm like, man, Michigan's a great state for beers, but then like there are like several breweries and like beer labels that are relatively close, especially like having Philadelphia like an hour away helps.
Philly's got a lot of good ones.
We got a lot of great beers, and it's like I want to say like Michigan's a special case, but maybe it's not. I don't know what beer is like in like Oklahoma, or like I don't know if you go to like a town in Oklahoma and like Oklahoma City, and I don't know if all of a sudden we got a raid.
Oh,
why are we not getting? I guess that's a sound alert too. We would have to hear to get a raid. I don't know.
I guess you gotta work the soundboard. tonight.
I guess I'll be posting the sounds, but we got a raid from Gianna Luma. 15 people. Holy quick crap.
15. Wow.
Wow.
That's more people than I know.
Wow, you're so dominant.
Okay, I'm gonna.
All right, that was 14. You need one more for 15.
Oh,
Wow.
there you go.
There you go. Perfect.
Wow.
I think I made that joke last week. I need to stop.
It's possible, yeah. But thanks for the raid.
Yeah,
Welcome.
thank you.
Normally there is a sound, I feel like that flip, right? Like, don't we normally have a thing that tells us?
There's all the alerts. The alerts must
The
not be
alerts are
working.
not
'cause
functioning.
there's all that stuff.
What's happened? You gotta figure
I
it
spent
out.
so much time on that animation.
Oh my god.
What are we doing here? We're drawing. For those of you who have never been here before, DrawBomb, we do like a shared canvas every week. Draw some fun pictures. We play some games. On Tuesdays, we write, or every other Tuesday, we write cartoon sketches and animate them, which you can find on our YouTube, which we should drop the link for.
Oh yeah. We should have a Nightbot thing that just says like if I type
know.
YouTube.
We've
We
gotten
do.
too comfortable. We're resting
don't.
on our
Yeah, we haven't
laurels.
updated it. We haven't like gone and sat down and been like, how can we make our stream functional for a while? We might have to at some point soon. Let me drop a link to our YouTube channels. We post animations and stuff, and we got other things happening there. Wow.
Yeah, we post multiple animations a month. So
Yes, we
check
do.
it out. Gianna, how was your stream? And now let's not say anything until they respond.
Yeah, let's just wait. Let's just up the pressure.
Let's just savor the silence, just soak in it, you know?
It was great, lots of fun. What did y'all do? I guess I could, if I press the shout out, and I think we did a shout out command. Does that work? Nope.
Nothing works.
I don't think Nightbot is.
Welcome.
Like, we gotta fire Nightbot, man. Like they're slacking.
Yeah. We haven't been paying them, you know?
No.
I'm looking at your crowd now, not to call you out right now, but your crowd there's a bunch of giants watching this football game.
Yeah, I know the scale is like super out of whack, but oh yeah, for sure,
All right.
for sure.
It's all right.
It is. I mean, yeah, that scale is fucked. That's like.
You know, we play the pigskin game so that the giants will
Leave
just
us
to
alone.
appease the giants.
Here, help me fill this crowd in. Like, I'm just gonna put in like a stick. I'm not even gonna. Actually, I have an idea. I'm gonna.
We can just make it like a blob. Some different
Yeah,
colors.
there's like a texture brush in here that I can just like add specks in.
And then when you're done, I'm gonna throw some like picture, like some like shutter flashes as like a nice little.
I like it.
They were playing love songs for Valentine's Day.
Hey.
Oh yeah, it's coming up.
Oh
Coming
my
up
gosh!
in 2 days.
I can't wait to celebrate with my boo.
I wonder what my wife got me. I don't think we're kidding.
Are you guys?
I'm gonna go
Are you
eat
guys?
a bunch of good food.
You guys don't have any
which
gifts
is the
planned for
best
each
thing you
other?
can do. Nah, we're not doing gifts. We here's the gift. Today we spent $800 to get our cat's teeth clean.
Wow. Hold on, wait. I have one for this.
Wow.
That is. So that's the gift. We're not gonna spend money on each other, but we're gonna go eat a bunch of food and maybe have some drinks.
That sounds.
That's all I need.
That sounds lovely.
That's all I need.
And that's all I need. And this lamp, and this chair, and this table, and that's all I need. And this book, and this. Do you know what movie I'm? You probably know what movie I'm.
The
doing,
Jerk?
but- Yes, I am. Hey,
Classic.
love that movie.
Yeah,
That crowd's looking better.
there you go. I like it.
I'm just gonna real quick. I'm gonna take this back up to the normal brushes.
The giants still require, entertainment, but it's not as looming. They're not just sitting there watching now.
The Giants.
And I'm
will
not talking
still
about the
be
football team, the
appeased.
Giants.
Oh, I thought you were.
No, they're really pandering. They're pandering to the giant overlords that forced them to play the football.
They were. All the
Named it after
commercials
them.
were shot from like a really high angle. Wow. Wow. So, Gianna Luna says that she was playing a bunch of love songs, but the question is, did you write someone a love song, or did you write a song about how you weren't going to? You know what I mean?
Can you? That's an ironic situation, right?
What an ironic love song.
You know, you can't write a song about not writing a song.
Well, you would be
You're just lying to
surprised.
yourself. People have tried it multiple times.
Who is that? Kelly Clarkson that writes that song, or who does that one song? I don't either. That's not my favorite song either, but you know. I don't think that's ever been done before. You know, I should try that. Sarah Bareilles. Oh, okay. Thank you. That's what we do here, folks. We make jokes, and whether or not they're funny, well, that remains to be seen. But the answer is no.
I think it's been seen.
Yeah,
I think it's been seen multiple times that it's not funny.
Everyone's found out now that no, the answer is no, they are not funny.
I like how just a minute ago we were complaining about commercials where the people who write them are like, "We are so funny," and like that's kind of this whole show.
Yeah, but we didn't.
We're funny.
We didn't.
No one's paying us though.
Yeah, we didn't pay like thousands of
difference.
dollars to put this in front of an unwilling audience.
They could have paid my rent for years just to show 30 seconds of some Temu commercial during the Super Bowl.
Oh my god.
4 times.
Or I would have loved to have my student loans paid.
Why don't these corporations care about you and
Why
me?
won't they pay my student loans?
I write them lots of letters.
I tell them how much
Please.
Jake from Steak Farm makes me lie. I think I just called him Jake from Steak Farm.
You did. I just let it go. Jay from Steak. Hey, this is Jay from Steak Farm.
Hey,
Not that other guy. I know
Jate.
a lot of people have been confused.
Jate from Steak Farm. Oh my. Hey, lad, look, we finished the picture. Is it like still within the first hour? No, it's not. But
We gotta color the DrawBomb word.
ah, fuck. Anyways, so we've talked. I think I don't have anything else to add about the superb owl.
Nope. No, I'm done with the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
That's it. That's all I have
Cool.
to say.
Wow. Great stuff.
Yep.
Great stuff.
I was disappointed that my state's team didn't win because it would have been the first Super Bowl I think I ever gave a shit about.
Oh man. I know that
That's
feeling.
just a feeling I would like to experience.
Yeah.
Although then they would have lost last night, and then I would have been, I don't know. I guess at least he made it there, right? That's something. I don't know. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, when Philly won the Super Bowl however many years ago, I was thrilled that we were in it, and then it was icing on the cake that we won it, because I did not think we were going to win that Super Bowl.
You
Like,
lived
I watched
in the city too, which is a great thing. Like
Yeah.
that makes it fun too, right? Because like
it
the
did,
whole
yeah.
city's partying.
But like I had no expectation of us winning the Super Bowl. Like it was like the Patriots, and they still had Tom Brady on the team, and like Tom Brady was throwing magic for like that entire year. And then he was throwing like shit that game, and we happened to win. And I'm like, the thing is, like, as I watched the Super Bowl that like the Eagles won, like they weren't playing good. Like we just got lucky that the quarterback was fucking up his throws, because like we were not playing very competitively that game. So, we got very lucky to have that win in our belt, and I'm saying it. I'm here saying it as a person who doesn't know shit about football. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody who watches football can look back at that game and be like, "What, are you kidding me? The Eagles played great." For me, it looks like they weren't, and like the quarterback just kept fucking up his throws. But what do I know?
I mean, Tom Brady throws 2 things: magic and kisses to
kisses.
his sons.
Oh,
And they never miss on both sides.
Wait. Just got a Tom Brady kiss. Mwah.
But, wow. Flying everywhere.
Oh man, why does that crack me up?
That's why he's the GOAT.
Here's the thing, I wouldn't even know about that joke if it weren't for Kyle. Kyle's the only reason I know about that fucking joke.
Kyle's got his finger on some strange pulses.
Yeah, if there's ever a pulse that's like sort of in like the general conversation that like I don't want to know about, Kyle will be more than happy to
Sure.
serve me a spoonful.
Not only will he be able to tell you about it, but he's done research. You know, he'll.
Yeah.
He
He's
has
looked
photos.
he's looked up multiple angles. He's done his cross referencing to see if like the situations happen on more than one occasion.
He's on it.
He's on it. He's on it like a bonnet. Yeah. Well, that's the Super Bowl episode. What riveting commentary we had to offer about the game.
It's true. Actually, since you're still coloring these letters, I actually have one more thing.
Okay,
I
go
just
for
thought
it.
of
Please do.
that I thought was funny. So the announcers, like some of the stuff they have to like say because of like whatever licensing deals or you know the fact that they're working for a network, all that stuff is kind of funny. I was trying to remember what the first one was. There was something where they're like, oh yeah, there's some like they come back from a commercial and there was some like DJ playing something for like the audience and they're like, wow, boy, you could tell they were both saying his name. I didn't know, I'm not familiar with the DJ and I don't remember what his name was, but they were both saying his name differently, so you could tell they were like, had no idea who this guy was.
Oh boy.
And they're like, wow, he's really doing his thing. Anyways, back to and then like later, like there was a thing where it was like apparently on Nickelodeon they were like had SpongeBob like announcing or like doing announcements for the Super Bowl.
There was like
And
a
they're
whole
like-
separate Nickelodeon broadcast of the Super Bowl, which is weird to me, but I guess it makes sense. But sorry, go ahead.
They had this one part where they aimed the camera at like a part of the stadium and it was like an announcer's box, but it had like SpongeBob and Patrick
I know
sitting
exactly.
there,
I
and they're
actually saw the moment you're talking about.
and they're like our friends in Bikini Bottom announcing the game too. Boy, it was
SpongeBob
really,
and Patrick.
really something. The announcers are just like,
had no idea what to say about it.
I did the thing. Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's just funny seeing them
Yeah.
have to do that stuff.
Yeah. It is interesting. And one thing that I was like kind of shocked by, I don't know how they do it, but in like the for the halftime show or whatever, they have like their little halftime commentary thing where everyone like they have like 8 dudes sitting at one desk and like everyone's like chiming in, but like nobody's like there was like a moment at the end where people started to cut each other off, but otherwise they were just like seamlessly jumping from like dude to dude and they were like giving their commentary. And it's like, so did y'all come up with like did y'all like roll for initiative like a fucking D&D fight before you guys like sort of figured out?
It's so funny that you say this out loud because that was like there's legit a moment where I was watching the exact thing you're talking about and I was just like, that was exactly where my mind was at. I'm like, how are they all like just like rapid fire saying their like stupid thing? I didn't say it out loud. I didn't ask anybody else in the room, but I thought it. Yeah, I'm glad that the other half of my brain was also thinking that in your neck.
Yeah, I'm the other half of your brain. I got it in the lobotomy.
Together we equal one intelligence.
Yeah. So yeah, I just thought about that. I'm like, how the fuck did you like? They had to have like come up with it. Like they were probably like the first 2 guys like in the center of the desk, left, right, and then like they would go out of the ring, and then like there was a little bit at the end where they were kind of like starting to talk over each other. Where I guess it was like towards the end of the but like when the guy like talked over the other guy, it was like him kind of being like, but we gotta go to the show. The show's starting. Okay, bye. And then like it ended.
Sports announcement is always funny. Like not like the ones like in the booth that are like doing it for the whole like presentation or whatever you want to call it, like the whole game. But like when they go to the desk, it's always funny, and it doesn't matter which sport because it's always retired athletes, so they don't really necessarily like, this isn't their skill,
right?
They're just faces that everyone knows who has played the sport that you're watching.
Yeah.
And then they all just say things that are just like the most, I mean, you could argue that they know more about the sport than most people, as they should, because they played it. But like,
still
the things they say sometimes are just like, boy, in this game, you really want to get yardage, and that's the thing you really want in this game. And it's like,
Yeah, I'll
yeah,
tell
no
you what,
shit.
I used to be a defensive lineman, and let me tell you what, the one thing you wanted to do as a defensive lineman was defend the people from on the other team from getting the ball where they wanted it to. So, you know, I gotta tell you what, when I see the other players on the team doing defensive lineman things, it makes me think, wow, that is defending and line manning.
And it's like, you're not wrong, but you're also saying nothing.
It's like, wow, I could do this job, I think, maybe.
If I knew enough about football, but I
Just
don't.
this particular spot where people were like, oh, you want to make sure that by the end of the game you have more points than the other team, and that's a real important factor of this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean the announcers of the game, I think that is a real skill because they're like,
oh yeah,
giving you information and they're just like telling you like the pertinent stuff like every step of the way, and it seems pretty complicated. And they know their shit.
Yeah, they were definitely saying like, was Ron Gronkowski one of the people? Because like I feel like
I don't know.
I fucking heard his voice in all of the damn commercials like leading up to the Super Bowl, like that stupid fucking sports betting kick or whatever thingy, and I felt like,
oh yeah,
I saw 1,000 commercials for that, and then like the voice that was one of the announcers, it seemed like it was Ron Gronkowski, but I don't know. I never heard the guy go, "Well, Gronk," or something like that, but I don't know. That's all. I think the one guy was Mr.
There's
Gronk.
a weird thing in that like sports betting Gronk kick thing where all of a sudden the commercial was like Carl Weathers and he was like, "That's Gronk," and then it's like the end of the commercial was like,
yeah,
Carl Weathers year to year, and I'm like, what? Like
Rip Carl
Weathers is awesome, and I'm very sad he's gone.
Yeah, I found out like 2 days ago.
But let's throw him in our commercial.
Yeah,
We can get more people to gamble. I mean, he was in it, so like he
would obviously
recorded
filmed
it
it
before
before.
he passed away. I don't know. I guess there's nothing weird about that. You know?
There's nothing weird
I
about
don't
it.
know.
It's just well,
Feels
was he playing
lame now that he's
now that he's gone, and that's our last memory?
It feels like a bastardization, even though it was like him doing a job that he got paid for ostensibly,
Yeah.
and like, you know, then
They paid
they
off.
just like threw a memorial at the end because he was in it. But
Yeah. Was he being Chubbs from Happy Gilmore? Was he being Carl Weathers, or was he being the character that Chubbs from Happy Gilmore is like based on from the story of Bagger Vance in those commercials? I never was quite clear on like who he was supposed to be in those commercials, like if he was supposed to be
I actually
Carl
don't
Weathers?
know. I just saw his face and I was sad, and then I stopped thinking about what the commercial was doing. But no, I don't know. I don't know the lore. I don't know the universe of the sports betting commercials.
Man, you gotta get with it, man.
I know.
I found out like 2 days ago that Carl Weathers died, and I was like, what? No.
Very sad.
That was very sad.
Happened what, like a week and a half ago?
Something like that. Yeah, it was very recent. I forget how I found out like on a Twitch stream somebody was just like, "Did you know Carl Weathers died?" And I'm like, "What?"
I have a few friends that we're all big Arrested Development fans, so when it happened, there was a lot of you got a stew going.
That's the first thing I thought of was
going
like,
back and forth.
"No, who's gonna tell Tobias how to make a good stew?"
Man, what a guy.
Man,
Torn in peace.
torn in peace.
Anything else you want to add? to
Got
this,
by the
John?
Predator. What were you saying? Sorry.
I mean, he got by the Predator in Predator.
Yeah. And isn't that how he got? Now we're just being
that
disrespectful.
happened like 30 years ago.
Yeah. What were you asking about the picture?
Oh yeah. Anything else you want to add to this?
Ooh, I got one thing I want to add. This is gonna take a whole second. Wait. Oh wait, that's on top of. I wasn't actually serious about this either. I thought it'd just be a funny little.
You weren't serious about what?
I drew it. I added my thing.
Oh yeah. There's one more wick you gotta get. Up in the bottom right.
A
Get that
John
wick.
Wick.
There you go.
All right.
All right. Next one's done.
Book it, Dano. Your name's
What?
Dano now. I'm telling you to book it.
Oh, okay. I mean, I liked my old name better. I don't want to be Dan.
No, your name's Dano now. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
Shit.
You gotta remember, my name is Cock Pegasus, and your name's Dano Phoenix. You know, for half of us having actually watched the Super Bowl proper, we sure talked about it for a segment of time.
5 things to talk about. I mean, well, fortunately, it was yesterday because I think my memory lasts about 48 hours.
Yeah, true.
So I still have this fresh.
I do feel like I had a movie I wanted to talk about. Like I feel like a movie at some point, and I wanted to be like, hey, let's talk about. But I don't remember anymore. I don't. If I did, it's gone. It's out of my mind.
It comes back to you. We could talk about it. But yeah, I don't know. If I ever have anything to talk about, I'm like, oh, good. Once I have something.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Should we go to a little break?
No, let's do a quick break.
Oh, I guess it's 9:40 already, right? But we can do like
we could do like a quick 10-minute break and then do a quick little game. I don't know.
We don't have to do a 10-minute break.
Oh yeah, why did I say 10? I meant
that's not quick at all. That's the longest break we've ever had.
That was a very long break. I meant play a game for like 10 minutes, but like do a quick 3-minute break or something like that.
Okay. Throw down an ad. We'll be back in a few minutes and we'll draw a few more things.
Woo! That's me doing Ric Flair. Very football. Ew. Oh, what happened to? There we go. There's our faces. Our faces were gone for a moment.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh
no! Wow. Hey there, folks. Welcome back. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play a little game. We're each going to look up a type.
Probably going last generation, right? Sorry.
Like yeah, the more we are not familiar with these Pokemon, which I don't know anything past like Series 2 or something like that. The more like we're gonna try and find a type of Pokemon and kind of describe elements of the Pokemon without actually telling the person what the Pokemon is, and then ooh, this one's actually pretty good. Maybe there's a couple that I'm like, these would be good, but if I described them, I don't know how different you could interpret it.
I just found one. I'm gonna go with it.
Wow. I'm not going to give you this one, but I just came across one. It's called Squawkabilly. Holy shit, Pokemon really is like fucking just reaching. It's Squawkabilly. It's a rockabilly. It's like a bird with a pompadour.
I guess I could have guessed that, right?
Yeah. But like it's a bird with a pompadour. Like is that really how we've how like at this, like, here's the thing, like, I think the best idea Pokemon has done is they take the old Pokemon and then they're like, oh, it's a different, like, island, so the Pokemon's a little different. It's like a different, like, species of that Pokemon. Like, that's brilliant. Like, you could have kept the original 151s and just had, like, this region's version of that, and, like, that would have been great. That would have been fine, but, like...
Rockabilly is lazy. I'm looking it up. It's just, when you said it's just a bird with a pompadour, I thought you were saying, like, you were mad that they gave a bird a pompadour. No, you were saying that it's a bird with a pompadour and there's no other features about it. There's nothing.
Yeah.
That bird could exist in the real world if it weren't for the fact that it has a pompadour. That's the only thing they've done.
And it's got like a little, you know, kind of anime looking face thing. But that's Squawkabilly right there. It's a bird with a pompadour. It's a rockabilly bird. But we got the blood and we got the bodily fluid still on the screen. There we go.
All right. Okay. So,
have you found your Pokemon yet?
I got it. We're gonna give each other the real name, right? And then the type, and maybe like a vague description.
Maybe giving the name is not a great idea, just because we've now both looked through a list of a bunch of Pokemon. Like there might be like.
Okay, that's fair if you don't want to do it that way. I didn't personally. I like saw one and just like clicked on it immediately, so I didn't look through. But there's a few I know from the newest generation. Not many. So I turned that game off pretty quick. I was like, doing the same thing again.
Yeah.
Doing it again. They can't keep getting away with it.
They can't keep getting away with this. Well, Pow World is gonna make sure they don't.
Hopefully. I don't know. I don't see them giving a shit.
Well, here's the thing. I think Pow World is going after a different audience, but I think also Pow World is I think there's a number of people who will probably just not buy Pokemon if Power World is sort of scratching that itch. But there's also a number of people who they like Pokemon because of its Pokemon. Like Power World is not the same game as Pokemon, so it's like that's what people like about it.
So what info are we giving each other?
So I'm gonna tell you the Pokemon I think I'm gonna give you. Okay.
Okay.
The autumn season, but in the form of a snail.
That's how you describe it?
Yeah, that's how I would describe the Pokemon that I'm looking at right now.
Autumn snail.
Autumn snail.
Okay, now I have to really rethink how I'm going to give you my...
I mean, you can just do what you were going with. I'm just like, I couldn't find a Pokemon that I felt satisfied giving you for you to interpret. So I went but if you have one that you're like, yes.
Alright, this one is a chubby electric frog.
Okay, I like that. Do you feel like you can work with autumn snail?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright. Do we have to hide them from each other, or are we just going for it?
Why not hide them? It is fun to reveal.
Okay.
And be like, oh, hey. Although, if I were to see it as you were drawing it, we could commentate on. But it is. Yeah.
Zone Dog in the chat says, "Draw Stitch."
Oh man, that's right. We did draw. I drew an awful Stitch. For fucking scribble.
Oh, awful. No, it was wonderful. It didn't look like Stitch at all, but it was very fun drawing.
You guys did guess Stitch though, so I mean, hey.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess mission accomplished.
Yeah, it was successful. All right, so you're telling me to draw a chubby electric frog.
Yep. I don't know how else to describe it. There you go. All right, autumn snail. I already have an idea.
I have some thoughts on mine. I'm trying to design mine how I would imagine Pokemon.
Yeah, I want to do it in a way that if I saw it from Pokemon, I'd be like, "Great job, Pokemon."
Great job. So you've played a little bit of Power World. We talked a little bit about it last week.
Yeah, I played a good amount.
Do you have any thoughts on it since we've last discussed it? I don't think we really went in depth with it. I think we just kind of talked about it, and you're like, "Yeah, I played it. I'm kind of running out of steam on it."
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna say some of the same things. Maybe I've said it all at this point. Who knows? But I don't remember what I said last week because short-term memory loss.
Oh no.
But I played a lot of it. It's they've done what the bones, what they've set up is fun and interesting, and the character designs are good for Pokemon. You could argue that maybe a few of them are kind of all right, you're taking a lot of inspiration, but a lot of them are just really good character designs, and I don't feel. I mean, they've made 500 characters, so you're always going to see some parallels. But I think
in the
original
made 500 characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or more, right? No, they made 1,000 actually.
I think it's 1,000 now. Because I was looking through the list, and I saw number 931 or something like that.
So at this point, I don't think it's fair to be like, "Ugh, you're copying us," unless you just think anybody who makes an anime creature is copying you.
Yeah, at some point it's like The Simpsons did it sort of thing, where The Simpsons has been on for so long that you can't. It's hard to do a plot that The Simpsons hasn't done in one of their episodes,
Yeah, totally. So in that regard, I think the character designs are really good. Honestly, a lot of the Pal World characters, I'm like, man, Pokemon wishes they've been lazy for a while now, and some of these are great. The designs are good. The game does feel like they're trying to do 30 different things and pack it into one game, which isn't necessarily a
not a
bad thing
all the time. Yeah.
But it doesn't really have the focus maybe that would maybe elevate it more. And,
right.
But for what it's released with, it's pretty solid. I'm pretty interested to see what it becomes, especially with how much money they've made. Unless they just take it and run, which I I hope it doesn't happen, but I wouldn't.
They've done a
blame
couple of times, but like this is their biggest success, like by far. I mean, they're already like gonna be a hard game to beat if you're trying to get like most sales of 2024 for a video game or something like that. You know?
You're saying they who's
The
this
people who
company
made
has-
the people who made Pow World.
they've done that before?
Yeah, they made Craftopia, which is a game that's like very much like Pow World, but
I didn't realize that was them.
it's been in early access for like 6 years, and then like Pow World came out,
Got
and they've just like completely dropped the game as far as people
Got
are
it.
sort of talking about it.
Okay. Anyways, it's in a lot of ways it's cool. The crafting, building is pretty fun. The crafting is pretty fun. It's got like a sense of humor to it. The character designs are good. There's a lot there, but it's also like not a lot there. It's a lot there for like a game that's in process.
Right.
But I think once it has time to cook, it'll be a lot more interesting. I've kind of run out of things to do, in my opinion. There's still people who are like grinding away, having a great time, and that's awesome. But I've kind of run out of stuff to do. And then another thing is like with friends, I had a lot of fun, and I played with a friend of the show, Derek, who we've played some games with. Played it with him. We had a great time, like starting with nothing and building up our base and like building the actual base and collecting pals and then being like, hey, look what I found. And like, whoa, I've never seen that one before. But then after we played it a while, I've kind of seen most of the stuff. We've built most of the stuff. And now it's like, what do we do? Like there's stuff you could do by yourself, but like there's not really like an activity for two people, in my opinion. You can go around and like take out some high level bosses, but it's, I don't know, that wouldn't hold my attention that much.
Gotcha.
Longer. So yeah. So I'm kind of like done for now until they do more, but it's a good start, and I don't know. It's got good bones. I don't know. I'm curious to see what they do with it. I feel like I'm saying a lot while saying not much at all. But
well, I mean,
I
maybe there's just
enjoyed
not a lot
it
to say about the
for
game.
what it was, and I used family share, so I never had to pay any money. Not that I don't want to support the developers, but I just, I kind of was like, I kind of knew going in what it was going to be for me. It was going to be something where I was like losing steam pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want to spend money on it. But yeah, I had fun, and I'm done with it for now.
Oh, there you go. He gives it a Pow World out of 10.
I think if you like survival craft 'em ups, and check it out. If you like survival craft 'em ups and like Pokemon, definitely check it out. Yeah, I don't know. It's my review.
Alrighty.
Fine.
Well, there you go.
It's fine. Throw that on the front of it.
It's fine.
Viewers are saying.
From Rock, Paper, Shotgun. Trying to figure out how I'm gonna... I had like an idea in my head of the body of this frog, and now I'm like putting it to action. I'm like, this kind of sucks. So I'm trying to like figure out how I want
Curious to see what you do. I'm making some choices that are kind of like, it's the prompt, but it's also, they're kind of like all over the place. So we'll see how this feels.
I'm definitely like chasing a Pokemon vibe with my, I mean, we talked about this already like 5 minutes ago, but I'm trying to like make it look like it was designed by Pokemon, which to some extent is like easy, and to another extent is not easy. If that makes sense. They just don't have those anime sensibilities in me, you know?
Yeah. Probably, I love anime, so this isn't a dig on anime, but probably a good thing you don't, because I think people who do, I think it's easier to go from drawing normal or non-anime to anime than it is to go the other way around. People who start with anime, I feel like have a hard time doing non-anime.
This is true.
Art.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also like you know how like they say like people call things a style, like when it comes to drawing and stuff. But I've always found that it feels more accurate to call it like your voice, because it's just like how the things you draw end up looking because of your perspective and like what you value in terms of like composition and like shape, language, and things like that. And I do agree, it is easier to probably go from drawing things that are very anime flavored to, or from things that are not anime flavored to drawing anime flavored, but I don't know. I've seen people who draw things that are like very well in that anime style, but then I'll see them draw something else, and I'm like, that doesn't look like anime at all. I don't know what I'm trying to say, actually.
I think we're saying the same thing.
We are. There are some people who draw in a very anime style, but when they like, it still looks like anime, but when they draw like it's not like chibi, but it's still like shit drawn in a way that's intended to be like less detailed and goofy and sometimes kind of cute. Like sometimes specific artists are really good at drawing a very funny thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some
sorry.
artists like I think like the combo of like anime sensibilities, but like having like a good like the ability to craft really well. Like I think that's some of my favorite like sketches and drawings that people do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I mean, say what you want about the anime style, but in terms of a lot of anime, it is based on like having really well proportioned, realistic sort of bodies.
True.
I mean, there's like a three-dimensionality that's inherent, I think, in at least a lot of anime styles that people are inspired by that I see. Like if I look at like the Boondocks, which is a very anime-inspired animation, but it's like, you know, a Western animation studio, I think. You know, they took the parts about anime that I love the most, which is like the drawings are in perspective and like have really good anatomy and things have volume to them. And that's something I'm very envious about, like people who draw just like good anime art, is I'm like, man, I wish my drawings had the volume that this had, you know?
You know, I think about it a little bit more like what I was saying, and I think it's a little unfair. I think more what I meant was like people who are just like can draw Dragon Ball Z characters and nothing else, and then
I feel like there's
to break out of that shell.
I feel like there's anime and then there's deviant art anime, you know?
Yeah, I guess there's, you know, people who have chosen to learn to draw, and anime is their like the flavor they like.
Yeah, their voice, you know.
Or there's people that have learned to like copy anime.
Yeah, there's drawing anime because that's just sort of how your drawings come out, and then there's drawing anime because oh cool, it's an aesthetic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know.
We're growing on stream.
I don't even know. Like maybe we're still being reductive.
I'm sure we are.
Yeah.
Trying not to be though. That's the point.
It's hard. In general, like let's just not yuck the yum. You know, if you want to fucking draw anime, I respect
and
it.
I don't think I ever was trying to yuck the yum.
How dare you, Brandon?
Record.
Yuck these poor anime drawers' yums. No,
I think I said I love anime, but it seems like it would be hard to break out of a mold if you learned to do one before you learned to do the other type thing. The point I was trying to make, whether I said that.
I understand what you were trying to say. I'm not sure. Like maybe it's equally difficult from both sides. Like if you're used to drawing, probably. Like I see some people, they draw like a very like Beetle Bailey looking kind of style. You know what I mean with that, where it's like very shaped.
Yeah, all those Beetle Bailey fans, like everything they draw looks like Beetle Bailey. Can't break away from their love for that.
People love Beetle Bailey. But you've seen people draw in that kind of style, right? It's like that very 1950, like almost. I mean, Tintin has pretty good drawings too. Tintin's almost like a combination of, like, some parts anime looking, some parts Beetle Bailey looking, some parts like extreme racist caricatures. You know, it's like they got it all in there.
Yeah, it's got everything there. Everything, nothing's left out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like fucking One Punch Man. Like, if I could draw, if I drew like One Punch Man, like I'd be thrilled, man. That anime and manga have some good ass drawings.
How many Punch Men have you drawn?
None. I've never drawn a punch man.
None Punch Men?
No punchmans.
So you were just hoping you could draw one.
Just hoping. I mean, look, I've tried drawing sort of realistic proportions before, and it's a learning process, obviously, but damn.
Oh, big time.
The guy who draws One Punch Man, he draws a good fist coming at the screen, or, you know.
He does.
He just draws very, very good proportions on characters and people, and makes them look like they're existing in a space.
My brother Matt started reading all the mangas, and he really likes them. I think I'm gonna borrow them.
You should.
I like the show a lot. The second season kind of. So he, as a fan of like the source material, when I told him I didn't like season 2, he was like, I feel like I hurt his feelings. Like, season 2 was so good, and I'm like,
really?
But I think maybe I need to give it another try. I was so focused on how bad the animation looked because the first season looked so good.
Yeah, that was like the part. That was one of my favorite parts about season 1 was that the animation was so top notch.
Yeah, they definitely like lost like
budget,
the majority of their budget, it would seem, or something, or the direction changed, or I don't know. I think the direction did change, but regardless, it just like it was hard to enjoy because I was just focused on like, what happened to it? Wake up! No, it's not supposed to be like this, and so on. And I don't know. It doesn't look the same. It looks bad.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I've seen other people who like One Punch Man like also talk non-fondly about season 2. Like, I don't want to say talking shit necessarily, but I've heard like other people express similar opinions to yours about season 2, going like, oh yeah.
My brother, he might be a little bit of like an apologist, you know.
That's fair.
He doesn't watch the show, so I can talk shit about him. But he might just like want it to be good, so he's living a lie.
I mean, he's reading the manga, but has he watched like the show?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
He watched all the show. There's only 2 seasons out right now, and he liked it a lot. So
okay.
That's why he got into the manga.
I'm curious if there's a season 3 on the way, because I mean we watched season 2 or season 1 a long time ago, and at that point you were already saying like, oh yeah, season 2 is lame. So it's like season 3 has been in the oven for a while, you know. Season
2 took a long time to even come to be.
Fair. I guess animation's just a very time consuming.
Yeah, I mean, if it looks like season 1, take all the time you want. Take 10 years. Go ahead. I won't even be mad at you, and I know you're concerned with how I feel. One Punch Man makers. How's your drawing?
Maker. It's almost done. I just gotta add some final lines, and then I'm gonna draw some like put some color in there real quick, and then I'm good to go, I think.
I'm just putting some final touches.
All right.
I went some different routes. I feel like doing too much, but I also did what you asked. This is your fault, is what.
Well, hey, look, if it looks entirely different from the Pokemon, I think that's a good thing, because again, we're here to, you know, spur inspiration and creativity, and
if it looks exactly like the Pokemon, that'll also be kind of like exciting, because like, what?
That's true.
What in the world?
How could you did? You nailed it.
While you're finishing yours up in the chat, let's see here. Leviathan Dunn says you can get Shonen Jump app for $3 a month, and they have all the OPM, One Punch Man, and many others on there.
Yeah, but he can just borrow the book.
With $3. Yeah, I would, but yeah, I can just borrow the book. Season 3 is on the way. Can't wait. Budget issues currently and bouncing around the studio. Yeah, I'll do it.
I'll do it. It's actually usually a really bad sign when it's jumping around studios, because sometimes it never lands. It's Shonen Jump. Ha 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 ha. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying sometimes.
Sorry, I no butted
you. You sure did. How?
Like a ball's flying through the air and you slap it to the ground.
How very dare. How dare you mock me? I'm trying. Yeah, I need to. I'm trying to like break certain mental habits of mine. Like if I like, we talk about. Oh, sometimes I'm in the Pinecast. Jesus Christ, I'm in the podcast mindset. Sometimes I'm into watching movies. Sometimes I watch sitcoms, and I'm like, I feel like I've been sort of hyper fixated on a certain type of media, and like okay, so I'm subscribed to a bunch of YouTube channels. I'm trying to keep up, and it's an impossible game to play with my YouTube subscriptions because first of all, I'm watching every YouTube video I watch aside that isn't like a song or a skit of some kind, or an animation or like something where like the presentation is important. Like there's certain YouTube videos where the presentation is less important. You know what I mean? It's a guy talking about a video game. It's a person.
Totally. Not everything needs to be 100 hours spent on a video.
Yeah.
Collectively, like make something that's simple and good.
I would argue that like 85% of my YouTube subscriptions I watch at double speed. Just getting through them, but it's like a constant game of like if I like every hour like 5 YouTube videos come out and it's just a never-ending stream even while I'm asleep. So it's like I'm like, oh, I want to keep up with my subscriptions because I do enjoy the content that I'm like subscribed to that I'm watching. But I feel like my mind is locking itself in that thing where it's like I'm constantly like, oh, I got 80 more videos to watch before I'm caught up, and I feel like I need a break.
That's a losing battle.
It is, yeah.
I bet you all your subscriptions, like if you combine the hours together, would be more than there are in a day or half a day.
Yeah, every day, all my subscriptions, and like I don't watch every video from every subscription, so it's like sometimes the channel will upload a video where I'm just like, I'm not gonna watch this. I'm not gonna spend an hour and a half watching you compare graphics on these two things. But I will say like the amount of content that comes out from the subscriptions that I'm like actually interested in watching probably equals out to more than 24 hours that comes out like on every day,
Right.
Where the 2x speed helps that, but it's like it's a losing battle is what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to break myself.
Especially the stuff you subscribe to, because it's like, this is a little bit shorter than my normal videos, so it's only going to be 7 hours instead of 12. But today we're going to be breaking down the deleted sprites from Castlevania 3 that was never released in America.
Watch the shit out of that video.
I'm gonna be talking about all the different sprites and going through them one at a time.
I would watch the shit out of that video.
That's your channel. So, that's a lot of content.
That's a lot of content. That's a lot of content.
Whoa.
Wow. So yeah, it's a losing battle. I'm trying to break myself out of that. I'm like consciously trying to break out of that mindset. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Is I'm trying to break out. I did watch an amazing video yesterday though. Austin, Zone Dog in the chat, clued me into this channel called Veritasium, where they do like little documentaries about science subjects. And I watched this 40-minute documentary on the guy who invented the blue LED light. And let me tell you, that's a fucking fascinating story. It really is.
It sounds fascinating.
Like, basically the dude, first of all, like, LED lights are, like, created... I couldn't even describe it, but like a lot of it
I actually just saw a thing about this. Actually, I think it probably was from the same maker, but it was something about I want to still hear you talk about it, but it's something about how the blue one was harder to make than the others, right?
It was, yes. It was like number 38 on trending when I eventually got around to watching it. So I was like, oh, okay, so yeah, this video kind of popped off, I guess, or something like that. So it's possible you may have seen it browsing the YouTube webs.
I saw the thumbnail. I didn't click on it.
Okay.
So the thumbnail gave me that info that I just, confirmed with you.
I watched it and it was a great video. It was kind of mind blowing. Just like, because making an LED is like you're basically putting electrodes or electrons into like crystal, like a very specific crystal structure or something like that. And I'd have to watch it again to describe how LEDs work, because that shit I got lost in the sauce.
Surprising, because they're kind of They're like pretty cheap. Like
They're
not like
super
in a
cheap.
bad way, like in a
Yeah.
good way, but they're affordable.
But making a blue LED light was tough because like you had to have a very pure sort of crystal structure, and you had to like all attempts to like make blue LED lights were so unsuccessful. Like the brightest they could get it was like barely visible. And so this one dude, he was sent from his like company in Japan to like a university in Florida, and he like worked for a year and a half every single day except for like New Year's. And he was like tinkering. He like was taking, there was like a machine that they used to like build the atomic structure of these different crystals that they use to make these LED lights or something like that. And like he would go into his like lab, and he would tinker with the machine and like take it apart and like rebuild it to like do experiments. And he was just like constantly trying to like create these specific like materials, atomic structures for in this machine or something. And like he essentially created like a whole new form of this machine, creating like these like airflows that create these crystals. It's like insane. And it's just a really fascinating story is really what I'm trying to say. Is I watched it and I was like, I didn't expect to be so enthralled by a video about how to make a fucking LED light. And here I am 40 minutes later, and I'm just like, that was the craziest shit I seen all day.
It's funny how some of that stuff is like, it just takes one person to like think about it in a different way
Yeah.
to unlock this thing that's like attainable.
And it's
but
like,
it feels impossible.
yeah, so many people had written it off as impossible. And he was basically like, no, I want to make this. I want to figure this shit out. And he like tried the methods that everyone thought was like, we've proven that we can't do this method. It's a whole thing. Like I couldn't even get into all of it. But then it's also crazy because he invented the blue LED light. That meant that they figured out how to make the white LED light because you can't, white is basically like, I don't know. So like the way they make the white LED lights is they take the blue LED light and then they put a filament or whatever, or not a filament is how they used to make lights, but they put like a little thing over it that's a specific hue so that it like captures it's like a yellow cap cover thing that captures all of the yellow light, and so it reduces like the wavelengths that are coming through this like little cover and reduces it just to the white. I don't know, it's crazy the way it works. I like,
whoa,
when I think about it in my brain, I can like explain it to myself, but trying to explain it with words is impossible.
Here's the thing, even if you said it in a very accurate way, I probably would be lost.
Yeah,
it's complicated.
It's a complicated process.
Gave me all the facts, I'd be like, oh wow, that's really something. It's not that I want you to move on. I'm just
I know.
I'm just,
I highly recommend watching the video.
I have limits.
It's a fascinating video.
Yeah, I will. I actually was gonna watch it. That's I remember you like kind of reminded me of it, but I didn't click on it. But I was looking at that.
It was I didn't expect it. I thought it'd be one of those things where I just like put it on in the background and I do whatever I'm doing. Like, a lot of YouTube is also second monitor content.
Yeah.
And this
You
video,
were on the edge of your goddamn seat.
I stopped doing what I was doing. And I would just like watch this fucking video, and I'm like, it's a good video if it makes me do that. And it's about how to make an LED light, something I can't even like describe it. That's how little I know about it.
Right. How goes your Rouge?
I am actually putting the final colors on right now.
Okay. I was waiting around and I realized I was just sitting there, so I decided to add some flourishes to the drawing.
You're making me look like a chump, are ya?
That's always the goal.
Oh, man.
This is all about trying to look good.
Yeah, that's what we do. We do look good on this show. We look so good.
Yeah, dude.
This show is
I'm
just a
wearing
big
Gucci.
prolonged mating call. You're wearing Gucci? Hell yeah, dude.
I already have a wife. Should I quit the show. don't
Yeah,
wanna get in
we
trouble.
did start this show before you were dating your wife, I think, or no, you were dating her already, but
The first episode we did.
Thanksgiving 2019, or right like
Oh, yeah.
Thanksgiving week. At
Oh
least.
yeah, we had been together for a while.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm all done. I'm gonna say I'm done.
Okay. I'm done too.
All right.
Gonna make yours good.
Oh, you even put my little dude. Is that
I
what my
did.
dude's? Okay,
That's
interesting.
the real one. He doesn't. He is an electric frog. He doesn't like look overwhelmingly electric. I like what you did though. That's cool. I like the lightning bolt beard.
Thank you.
I think one final step also is maybe write a name for your character.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna post yours on a layer soon, but you write a name. You write a name for your Pokemon, and then I will figure out one for Maine. I like the candy corn eyes you gave your snail. That's good. That's good stuff.
Call him snail corn. Snake corn. A way to do that where snake corn.
So that's a fair enough portmanteau. Snakecorn, I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
snake corn. Check it out. The good stuff.
I just want to make sure
It's
Action
illegal,
Bronson's the
but I
guy I'm
have
thinking of.
hours of a hard drive.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty happy with Action Frogs, and I feel like that is kind of who I was channeling when I made my frog. It was Action Bronson.
All right. Could I please see Snakehorn's reel?
Yeah. Gonna put it.
Whoa, they win. Their design is cool stuff.
I wanted to say pile of leaves as a snail, but I felt like that would
He's
get
like
that would have given you.
Snail.
Yeah, it is. It's a grass type snail, but it kind of feels autumn-y. I don't know.
Can you put it up in that little empty spot? Top left?
No. Yeah, I can do that.
I'm not covering up my little leaves.
Your beautiful leaves.
What's his name in? Is it Wochian in the English?
I don't. That's actually a great question. Because on the website it just says Wochian. Yeah, like
Might be.
the Pokemon cards I'm looking at, it has like Pokemon cards for it. All are written in English, and the name is Wochian.
Yep, he's Wochian.
Is there a pun we're missing on that? Is there like?
No, I think it's probably like. My guess is it's like a Japanese name, but they just kind of stuck with it.
Yeah, but like a lot of these Pokemon names are like puns.
Yeah.
Like Snakehorn
But
would
this
be.
this one's a legendary though, so like sometimes with those
Oh.
characters they get a little more like try to go for cool over like stupid. Like I'm a trash can with a face. Like, they try
Yeah.
to make it like a little more like cool, and they did. That's a cool design. I really like that one a lot.
Yeah,
Nicely done, Game Freak.
it is good. I'm just looking at name origin on the Bulbapedia. Wochian may be a combination of Chinese for snail and Chinese for bamboo slips. The name is formatted in Wade Giles, a romanization system used in the Anglosphere for most of the 20th century. Chongjian may be a combination of Chong, Chinese for bug, and Jian, which is Chinese for bamboo slips. So it's
My guy
looking
could totally evolve into that.
That's true, yeah.
It would take. Obviously, there's something in the middle, but I could turn
Yeah.
into that from this thing. That'd be
I
fair.
think so. Yeah, I think that's definitely
Yours would be what you evolve into.
yeah. What's mine's name?
Belly Bolt.
Belly bowl? Bulb?
Belly Bolt.
Belly bolt. Interesting.
Bellibolt.
I should have drawn Crazy
Does-
Frog.
I wonder if he evolved. Well,
That little guy's cute though.
yeah,
He's a cute little guy.
wait. Okay. So it evolves from a tadpole Pokemon,
Interesting.
which I'll show you that too.
Okay.
I like this as well, actually. We just shit on them nonstop, and then we're like, wow, good job, good job, good job.
Well, I think we picked Pokemon, like designs that, like, you know, even if they have like a vape pen Pokemon or a fucking garbage Pokemon, like
It's a light bulb Pokemon.
That's true. You did pick a light bulb.
But I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
you're the logical end step for this because it goes back to the yellow that was in the first one.
This is true.
Game Freak.
Call
You
us
have to pay us
up.
if you use this.
I was considering this one, but I decided against it. But this one kind of looked like it would be. I wanted to just describe this one to you because it is kind of like, really, this is what they're going with. But it is also a cool design in a way. But when you see this, oopsies, what do you see?
I see what's his fucking name? Okay, so I see it's cords, right? It's all
Yeah,
wired.
it's electrical plugs. They even got like
it even has like zip
ties on it. Yeah. Like, dude literally looked around the room and was just like, fuck, what can I turn into a Pokemon?
I like it though.
I do like it, that's the thing. Like, I think it's
But
a good...
it's weird how many like non-organic things they're making Pokemon. It's kind of a weird, like,
Yeah.
wait, so these things existed before humans, yet this one looks like zip ties and cords,
Well,
and this
okay,
one
so
looks like an ice cream cone.
these are described
These
in
things
the Pokédex as actual aliens.
Well, that raises more questions. It
I
came
know,
from space
right?
and it looks like human shit.
Yeah, it says in the Pokédex version there's like a red Pokeball icon and a blue Pokeball icon, and the blue Pokeball icon, it says, although it's alien to this world and a danger here, it's apparently a common organism
no.
in the world where it normally lives.
It's a danger.
It's a danger.
Are there aliens in the new one? I didn't play far enough. That sounds.
I guess this one Pokemon card makes him look like a fucking Jet Set Radio character.
He kind of has an Andy Warhol thing going on.
He does, you're right, yeah.
And not in that. Not when he's blue. When
No,
he's
but
wearing black.
doesn't he look like a Jet Set Radio dude, like right there in that
He does. It's the angle and everything.
drawing? Yeah. He does have an Andy
All right.
Warhol thing going on. So that's fun.
Well,
That's funny.
I'm gonna save this and then let's wrap it up.
Yeah. I think my least favorite Pokemon is like, I saw one that's like it's just like a chandelier.
Oh yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
And I'm like, really?
It
Like
comes from a candle.
a candle and a chandelier. I don't know why, but those, I'm just like,
Chandlemon. No, not
Aw.
Chandlemon.
oh my gosh. Candlemon has turned into Chandlemon.
Could I be any more of a Pokemon? Rip Torn in peace.
Rip torn in peace.
And-
I'm Brandon.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you.
No, it's okay. I was just
That
gonna
was a
say
reasonable moment of silence.
it was a reason, but look, the internet ruins all that, the latency. But I'm forever mad about Torchic because Torchic. I had a Torchic in the one version of Pokemon game I ever had for my like DS over there. And I thought Torchic was super cute, and then I evolved it, and it turned into this ugly fucking kung fu bird that I hate. And I'm
Pokemon
like,
needs to lean into that one of these generations and make like the cutest, coolest, some kind of combination of cute and cool, the best looking first Pokemon there is. Then he gets progressively like more shitty and the final one is just like this like pile of like goo with like stupid face.
that's
like
how
a
Torchic
dumb
feels
haircut.
though. Like, let me show you Torchic, and then let me show you. I'm gonna skip the in
Yeah, I want to
between
see this
step,
evolution again.
which is ugly.
I've seen them, but I don't remember.
Okay. Here, I'm going to create a new layer.
But it'd be funny to like do a bait and switch. Although I think everybody already knows what. It's impossible to like capture that feeling of like playing like red and blue, and you didn't know what your thing was gonna turn into, and all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, look
Yeah.
at that.
Oh my god, it's a Charizard. So this is Torchic.
Okay. I do want to see the middle one, just for
I'm going to,
education.
yeah. So that's Torchic, and then it evolved into this,
Good
and I
sign.
quit playing.
Oh.
That
Why
drawing's
does it look
better.
like a cock?
Dude, it's a cock. Here's the thing, that
a
drawing,
penis.
that drawing is actually much more aesthetically pleasing to me than the 3D model that was in the game, which just made it look like hot ass. Like that's actually kind of a cute Pokemon still. There's a little bit of cuteness in this guy, even though he's ugly as shit still. Like he's a little cuter than the 3D model. But then let me tell you what it turns into is just like, what are we looking at here? Like what the fuck is that?
So it appears they're fully leaning into the chicken aspect of it.
Yeah, but like the last
mean,
one's like
not
Lady
the-
Gaga as a chicken or some shit like that.
I like that it has feet for hands now.
Yeah, it's so ugly. And like, look at my cute little Torchic. Look at that guy.
Yeah, he starts off cute. I mean, thus is life, right? Like we all start out cute and turn into the ugly
is true.
bastards that we
Yeah.
are now.
Can't stay adorable little kittens forever, you know what I mean?
No matter how
Anyways.
hard I try. Yeah,
No
you
matter-
got anything to plug?
Despite all my rage, I'm still an ugly Pokemon evolution. Brandon, I have nothing to plug right now, honestly.
Same.
Unfortunately. Wow.
Check out our YouTube. We got good stuff there. Follow us
post-
here if you're new. We appreciate you stopping by if you're new. If you're
Hey.
not new, we appreciate you stopping by as well, but slightly less because you guys are old news.
Yeah, we've already gotten you.
But to the new ones, thanks for joining.
Thanks.
Follow
yeah.
our YouTube. Follow us here. If you,
We are
if you
trying
like
to
what
put
you
a
saw.
new cartoon out on the YouTube this week. I still got to edit it.
Oh yeah, it's one. I haven't seen the final cut or the not final cut either, but the concept is one of
I'm
my
excited
favorites we've
for
done
it.
in a little while.
Yeah, I think
Fun.
I think the joke is funny. I think conceptually it's one that I think people will like.
Yeah.
I
So
feel like
excited
if
to see it put together.
I feel like if we nail the thumbnail, people will click on it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Think about that.
I think calling it Jeopardy for Dogs is just gonna. I mean, there it is. That's the sketch, everybody. But I think if we just call the sketch
Spoiled it.
Jeopardy. I mean, we've streamed ourselves making it.
Oh no, we spoiled it.
Oh no.
Good about that.
I think if we just call it Jeopardy for Dogs, like that's a title I would click on, and if the thumbnail
Yeah.
is good, I think the thumbnail should just be the dogs at the podiums. Honestly,
Yeah, that's actually great.
I would click that video.
If that all fits, that's great. Or maybe like the dogs at the podium. You could have like the game board behind it or something. I don't know. You'll figure it out. You go to what you do.
If we just call the sketch Jeopardy for Dogs, and then we show 3 dogs at like the answer podiums for like
I think
Jeopardy,
That's good enough.
I think people would be like, well, I gotta see this. It's only 3 minutes
click
long.
that.
I clicked that. I clicked editing.
Anyways, thanks
Wow.
everybody for watching.
It's another one in the bag.
thank Lotus Block, Leviathan Den, Zone Dog. We got Crazy Kyle,
We got
Barbarina 123, Gianna Luna. Thank you for
Bob
the raid.
the-
We appreciate you.
Babino
Maverick.
Oh, you said that one, yeah.
You're too late. I've been way past where you. I've surpassed you.
We had a Z-Newts in the chat. Leviathan Den. DrawBomb. That's everybody. We've said everybody now. I'm fairly certain.
We appreciate you
Lotus.
guys. Thanks for watching. We're not airing tomorrow. It's an off week, but we'll be back.